Live.
We're live.
Yeah, man.
We're locked in. We're good to go.
Yep.
I can start the intro. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Don't Be Mad podcast, your weekly dose of the homies kicking back, shooting the shit, and talking it up. I'm your boy, Lefty Lucky, and I'm joined here as always with...
Jamali.
Jason. Like, get off your phone.
Like, bro,
What's wrong with you?
are you at least talking to people?
Yeah, bro.
I mean, like on the feed. Are you at least talking to people?
No, I just had to,
I mean, at
send out my.
at least do that.
I'm gonna let y'all know. I saw what he was doing.
I was working.
I don't know if that. I mean, that's work. He's working.
I was working.
I haven't said it in a while. Don't make me.
You're right.
Oh, almost forgot to say, proud members of the Upford Network.
Yeah.
They are good friends of ours. Check them out with all the great podcasts they got on there.
Yep.
As you can see, we're all, well, not all of us, rocking some gear today because we got our homie, our bro
Let's
from way
introduce the
back in the
guest.
day. What do you think I'm doing right now, man? Let me swag him out a bit.
He's assisting. That was
You know,
a
like,
assist.
like he laced us, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm nice
Yeah.
and bright today.
No,
Nice and bright, feeling good, feeling comfy and warm.
you got a
Thanks to
special
my
order for the
boy.
homie coming up. Don't worry.
No, I got
Iman
it.
in the building from PURELUCKX.
Yeah,
Clap it
that's-
up for the man, the young brother, the young entrepreneur.
My man's used the original name, the original PURELUCKX before the government told me, hey, it's not French.
Oh,
I had to switch it quick.
fucking
So what do you
people.
call it now?
Vetements Pure Lux.
Oh,
Same thing.
Well, you know what? We
Well, yeah.
go way back to the
Exactly.
way back, so
The
it's
original.
PURELUCKX. Sorry,
right.
Frenchies.
Yeah, man.
How you been, man? How you doing?
Good, yo. The lights are hot, man. I'm
Oh, yeah, I
starting to
know
sweat
that
already.
Look, I'm playing it cool. Don't worry, man's not hot.
Yo, I'm wearing white
I'm
too.
playing
I
it
should be
cool, man.
straight.
Yep.
Damn. Yo, I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
No, I'm glad you're back because
Yeah.
we did have you here like 2 weeks ago, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
On our
Yeah.
first live.
Yeah, you know, like, yeah, exactly, on the first live, but we wanted to make sure the first time around it was more just like kick back,
Yeah.
let you know what the scene was, you know, let you get a bit comfortable and familiar with what's going on here.
Yeah.
And just like clockwork, had you right back in,
Boom.
man.
Boom. Easy.
Yeah, so how has the business been booming for you, man?
In the business now this year, I got that wave now. Now I got
Yeah.
it. I got
now,
that
now like you know
water.
where your lane is, you know
I
what
got
you're
that
doing.
water. Yeah, I got that water now, so I'm feeling it now.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like I said, like we've known you for years. We know you've been doing this for years as well. And I mean, like we've essentially been supporters of everything you've been doing in the city. And knowing now that like you're taking it just beyond Montreal at this point, you know, like what are some of the steps that you were taking without giving away your game to like get it to where it is today?
Man, the steps was actually just grounding the brand. It's important to shoot for the stars, but understand that you got to handle what's on the ground first. You got to make sure that your business is good, your numbers are correct. You got to know your sales numbers. How much do you want to like pay for something? How much do you want to sell it? What's your target audience? I had to understand a lot of that stuff before I was able to get to the point where I'm at now. Very comfortable. I'm able to purchase large sums of quantities of gears and
Good
different
quality at that,
ideas.
'cause
Yeah.
like I said, man, I'm
change the
nice
quality.
and warm, but at the same time, you
Yeah.
know, man's not hot.
Yep. up the quality, found different links. I'm looking always to be Canada first. So Canada suppliers, Canada distributors. My goal ultimately would be to produce everything locally. So, cut, sewed, stitch, everything Montreal. None of this China stuff, none of this overseas. I want to build the economy here. I want to put people that I know in employment. I want to fund and help people here. So like that's what I mean about grounding the business, making sure that I'm taking care of this stuff first before I look to anywhere and anything else.
No, I like that, man.
Yeah, foundation is key, to anything that you do. So
100%.
You got any questions you want to ask him before I just start reeling off?
I mean, you always do that. It's a matter of when.
Damn right I do.
No, so what made you want to get into the clothing space? Because I mean, you would think it's crowded. You would think people would think like, well, I can't be a Ralph,
Yeah.
on their Kanye West type tip.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to let you know right now, clothing, just like anything else, is crowded as hell. And a lot of people think it's as simple as, oh, I have a dope idea. I'm going to put it on a shirt and everybody's going to love it. They're going to buy it. They're going to support. Doesn't work that way. I'm going to let you know straight up. This is something I've been involved in since I was a kid, watching fashion television. Always wanted to get into the fashion game, but there's steps to it. You know what I mean? You have
Definitely.
to understand what works and what doesn't. And I did a lot of trial and error. I wasn't the person that measured 10 times and cut once. I just started cutting. I just started cutting and seeing what worked and what didn't work. If I went to work, I always had gear with me. people know that duffel bag you see over there, that's the same duffel bag I've been carrying, and I always make sure it's stuffed with something. So knowing that this is a hustle, it's a grind. This is not temporary. This is not like 5 days a week, 9 to 5 for me. This is 24/7, 365. This is a lifestyle choice. This is the business that is going to feed my family.
Most
You know what I mean? So that's what for me, I just want to make sure that I'm financially secure with something that I own, that it's not someone else's price point. You know what I mean? If you work at McDonald's, you get minimum wage or whatever price you get. That Big Mac that you're selling, 100 of them in an hour, that person makes X amount of dollars. You only get that minimum wage because that's the value that they say you're worth.
Right.
I don't like that. I feel that a lot of people should understand their value. If it's words, if it's time, understand the value in putting in energy towards something.
Most definitely.
I got to own mine. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you, man.
I think that's key, especially in our community. I think a lot of times, and we've seen it, like brands are out there, they disrespect the culture, they disrespect us as a group, and people still support it.
Not even disrespect, but just steal completely without any acknowledgement.
Oh,
at
yeah,
all.
no, that happens.
I mean, I think to me, I always say when people copy you, that's flattery. Like, I don't really take offense to that. I'm talking like the blatant disrespect.
Yeah.
Well, I don't make clothes for you guys, or when they make clothes, they put offensive language or, imagery on it.
But that's shock culture. That's the problem.
Right, yeah.
It's shock culture and saying things and to be like, oh, Gucci did this, and it's crazy. And a small community group reacts, but the bigger picture is it's now puts Gucci all throughout the news.
Yeah.
So that makes them their stock go up, makes them get more money from people buying it.
Yeah, they actually get helped out more so than they get damaged. And usually the damage, if it does occur, it's like it's a small dip. But then the spike afterwards, it's more of, so we're not mad anymore, and boom, it goes right back up to where it was before, if not higher.
No, definitely. But I me personally, we've had the discussion. It wasn't even like, something to reactive, because 90% of people who got upset can't afford real Gucci. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Let me get my brand to that level. And I don't know about supporting someone else like that don't know me. He don't support me. He don't like me. He don't really want to help out my people. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, nah.
And how you think your brand has been received by, the Montreal, the city of Montreal?
I'm hearing a lot of great things about it. One of the key things is the bunny logo. It's simple. It's cute. It works. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I like to work on. I love to put that bunny on everything and anything. One of the things that I find that the community really receives it well is because I'm very in touch. You can message me and I'm there. I'm hitting you back right away. I am not taking no 5 hours. I'm not trying to be cool and not respond to a comment. Like, I'm there. Hey, I appreciate all that love and support. I'll like your stuff. I'll share your stuff. I'm really here. So I really want to make this a Montreal staple brand. Something that this is Montreal. Like, you see that? Yeah, I know. Like, when I did the Same at Ville hoodie that was 5 years ago, where it had all the Montreal boroughs on the sleeve, that was because, Same at Ville. I was in Toronto homesick when I made that. Just came up with a design. I'm like, I'm really missing my city. Came back, put that out, let people know, like, this is Montreal. I do a lot of stuff for our city.
No, I can attest that, because I remember first couple of years you started doing it, and like it was really starting to pick up. You were literally out your trunk, just wherever somebody was. Like, I hit him up like, yo, I saw that what you just posted on Facebook. Do you still got it in stock? He literally that same day was like, yo, when are you gonna be home?
Yeah, I'm there.
And I'm like, yo, I'm home already. And he's like, yo, I'm on the way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm thinking like on the way. He'll be here in like 2-3 hours. No, like legit. 20 minutes later, he's like, yo, which building you said was yours again? Like, he just full on came to my place just because I was like, yo, hit him on Facebook. Like, yo, I like that shirt. I think it was the one, Ain't Nobody's Business.
Ain't Nobody's Business.
I think it was that one.
I took that.
And I was like, dude, like, just the fact that you didn't have to come today. Like, I would have been fine, like, waiting till the weekend.
But I'm gonna let you know something, right? And it's people who procrastinate, who think tomorrow's promised. That's the ones that don't have anything right now. You have to, when someone wants something, you got to get off your ass and get it. You got to get that to them. You got to get whatever you want. You can't sit here and worry about what tomorrow got for you. Like, nah, you here right now. So if you want the sweater, you show interest, I'll go wherever. I've traveled to Toronto just to sell something. And people don't understand, well, why would you do that? Because I got business I can handle there. So I might as well take that trip, meet you in person, chop it up, do business, and then work on other business.
That's
get your network going.
That's that Master B hustle. Like when he had to sell his records from his trunk.
Yeah.
He was just hustling, going everywhere.
That's what it is. And
that's a hustle
you see it because
that's
you
your
doing
fan base.
that shows like the foundation that you were talking about. It got you in touch with the people in the city, and and on top of that, it grew your network to the point where it extended into Toronto, and I'm sure it's extended into Ottawa, and pretty much just it's branching out. I'm sure into the States at some point as well in certain cases.
You know what happened? It skipped the States and went international. It was weird. I had Austria. I can't even pronounce some of the places, and I was just like, "Yo, wait, how do you know about that?" And I would ask them, because like one thing that I learned really important. Anybody who buys something, ask how did you hear about the brand. Yeah. And one of the things he said is like, oh, I was just looking for a green hoodie and yours looked dope, so I bought it. Yeah. It's like, oh, so the design, the green, okay, color sometimes gets people to buy things. Design gets them to buy things. But the point is, put your work out there. Yeah. Don't just sit on your hands and wait and be like, no, I had to keep putting for advertisement. I got to get it to everyone's eyes. You know what I mean? So...
No, I agree with that because, I mean, the way we've been doing with the podcast as well, a lot of it has been word of mouth. A lot of it has been extending it to friends and asking them to extend it. And to the point where this weekend, I had a situation where I met up with a couple people at Burgundy Lion. And then this dude who was a part of the group who I had never met before literally just like walked up on me and he was like, yo, you do that podcast. Yeah. Wow. And like I was like a bit shook about it because I'm just kind of like, I'm coming incognito type of thing. Like I'm here for them, like what they're doing, but just full on like asked me about, like said he listened to a couple episodes, and then from there we just started chopping it up. Yeah. But it's just like that simple. You get to a point where people are talking about it, and it's because of the work that you're doing and the fact that you're putting yourself out there and not sitting back and hoping it all comes to you. You know?
No, you can't do that, man. You gotta get it, man.
Like I can't tell you how many times I've literally like grabbed someone's phone and like typed it in for them. Subscribe. Now you know. Even if you don't listen to it after that, at least I know I've done my part of. This is how you can find it. This is where it is. And if you want to share it, share it.
Trust me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just off the top, man. I'm thinking maybe I'm overstepping, but like merch, I can. You know what I mean? Got y'all on the merch. I'm just thinking of ideas how to get it to that level.
If you get you in the merch
game. I mean, use my resources so y'all don't have to really worry about some
we can talk prices. If you got ideas, man.
Oh yeah. I'm just sitting here because at the end of the day, like, what are we really doing this for? Like, we sitting here, we're talking. I'm on your platform. You're wearing my stuff. We're both giving, back and forth. Right. But how else can we really build on that? Like, how can we get to another level? Right. And we should always be supporting and really looking to build a proper community. Like, podcasting is amazing. I love doing it. I love kicking it, just talking. And then one thing with me is that. You already know, I'm going to say it straight. I don't have a lot of guy friends. All female, so I don't really get to this talk.
Oh, we know.
Right. Yeah.
We see your Instagram.
And it's not even the hate on that. Like, people are like, oh, yeah, I wish I was in that position. It's an amazing position, but sometimes you just really want to talk some shit.
No, I definitely
sometimes
get it.
You need that barbershop atmosphere, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But I think you need people that are like-minded as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've been friends with these guys. Jason the longest. This guy I met in college.
Yeah.
Well, this guy, Matthew.
Who's this guy?
What's the problem, man? What's the problem?
No, you know what I mean? Like, and we've maintained our friendship over the years.
Yeah.
And, honestly speaking, like, these are like my two closest male friends.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe in, maybe I'm wrong, but I like the presence of female, I like their energy. I think that's what got Jesus killed. I'm going as far as saying that. I think if he had women at the Last Supper table, he would have been alive.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Would have held him down.
A real woman would always have your back to keep it a
strong women in your life.
She would let you know about Judas from time. I don't know about that guy because
strong women, man.
He be giving some eyes.
You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it real, and I think it's healthy to have these dialogues on a. Especially, we live in such a time where communication is not even personal anymore. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I mean, you scroll down your social media feeds, it's a tap for a like, and you don't even really pay attention to what is actually being said in the post. Yeah. It's just sort of like, oh, Matthew posted. I know Matthew. Matthew's my boy. I just like.
Yeah.
And I think it's needed to have these platforms and these dialogues for the advancement, not just of the culture, but for own personal growth. Yeah. Sharing is where you grow.
Yeah, man. 100%. I mean, like, it's... Like with us, I think the thing that made the three of us come together be really strong in the fact of our friendship, our brotherhood, and just being able to grow our relationships throughout the years is not simply because we clicked on everything, but the fact that we respected the spaces in which we didn't click. Right. And I mean, like, we come on here, we get heat and everything. It's for the people's entertainment. But
we?
This guy's
I'm just
like,
saying, you and Jamal.
I don't know about we.
Okay.
Math can get heated.
Okay. Remember he said that, all right? Let's put a timestamp on that.
I'm gonna say because I know about heated because I can say we know each other for over 10 years and I remember some moments.
No, I definitely get heated, but it's because, and I'll say like the women say, it's because I'm passionate. I'm passionate. But I'm never heated to the point where I'm in hatred. I'm heated in the point of, yo, let's get this out, you know? And like the reason I can do that with these guys is because they know it's no matter where we're clashing or where we're agreeing, it's always in a matter of respect. And we always come to a point where like we can be literally staring each other down and cut the tension with a knife, but then we laugh it off and shake hands literally on camera because that's just how we are. And
the friendship is deeper than just a moment, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Like I feel like friendship is so superficial now. Like everybody want to click up with people that think like them, like or that likes everything they do.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between like and support. You know what I mean? Like I could like anything these guys do, but you know, if I need them or they need me, we're there. And that, to me, that is support. Like it's one thing to have someone say like, check up on you during the, a hard time. I've done it for him. He's done it for me. Jason has done it. Likewise. So like to me, those are the true values that, we have as a group of friends.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times I've had to drag this guy to next door.
Yeah,
shout out to them.
I'm
quick plug for them.
Yeah.
I'm super.
I'm literally like, dude, let's just go have a pint. And he's like, no, I want to go home. Like, bro, let's go have a pint because sometimes it's like I haven't heard from him.
Yeah.
And I know I'm gonna sit him down. We're gonna have that first pint. I'm gonna get him talking, and then from there, even if it's an hour, 2 hours later, at least we've had a good chat where it's like I dig into him and just like, yo, just tell me how things have been, because I know he can be closed off at times, and he just needs that extra nudge. And I'm glad that he allows me to do that because you need that human conversation. Like 100%. I can go back and forth on text all fucking day, but
the same though.
Literally looking someone in the eyes, hearing their expression when they're actually saying their message, like where did they hesitate? Where did they get excited? And reading their body language to know like, no, this is actually serious to them. Like that guy that hasn't spoken to them in a while or that chick that hasn't spoken to them in a while is affecting them. Yeah. And you could play it cool on fucking text, like, yo, it's whatever, it's whatever. It's part of the dating app game, but deep down they're like, yo, what the fuck? Is this me?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you need to like look at somebody and actually ask them, yo, is this me? And have somebody look at you back and be like, no, man, it's this fucked up device that we use all the time.
But it's true. And I feel like oftentimes friendship gets broken for lack of communication. And it's not just words exchanged, but like moments spent together. Yeah. Because it's easy to be like, I'm busy, but I'm not too busy to watch the game. I'm not too busy, to just sleep.
It goes more into age things. Like people in our generation, we're not afraid to talk to people. I guess it's the younger generation. They're used to doing everything through text, through Facebook Messenger and everything. So they don't like confrontation or they don't like meeting people. So they're going to have that mentality of like, oh, if I say this to the person, he might say something. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't even take that as a reason because if we look at
that's partial. That's
partial because I mean, if you look at like our parents probably all grew up around the same time in like the early 60s to late 70s, right?
Early 50s in my case.
Yeah, my mom's actually turning 60 in a couple of days. So, but the key point is didn't have telephone. They grew up most likely in small villages, so they could easily meet up.
It was all community.
Right? Yeah. For a long time, we were like the last generation that wasn't raised on a cell phone. Yeah. And we found ways, but we were raised on the house phone. How many of us got that? You know what I mean?
Star 69, my
friend. Get off my phone now.
You had times allocated to you. Like, 5 to 7, that's you.
Yeah. You try to sneak a late night convo and then, I don't know about you guys, but I had that phone in the crib where the red light was going. If something is like,
someone picked up?
Yeah, it was disconnected or someone didn't use. So like my stepdad, my mom had it in their room. So it's like, they look over and I'm at like 12:30 having a
red light.
Get off the phone.
You're supposed to be sleeping.
I'm telling you, people don't understand, man. When you're talking to something nice on the phone, you got the cord and thing, you just twirl it. You got a whole bunch of stupid shit. You got your feet up on the wall. Yo, why my feet on the wall for? You don't even know, but it feels right.
When they finally make cordless phones, you know how many rooms you were walking through? Just talking.
You're trying to see how far you can get down the steps just to see. Yo, you still hear me? I promise you now.
You're outside,
just chilling, man.
That was 97.
Oh, bro.
But I just think the newer generation, I think their problem is, and that's a major problem. I think it's unhealthy to have that, but it's like we also, as the older heads, we fell into that space.
I want to say we
as
fell
well.
into it. I feel more so for us because like we have that connection to how we used to be, and at the same time we've kind of grown with technology.
Right.
Yeah.
What happens for us now? It's more of we're capable of detaching.
We
And
are.
because we notice, or at least I know for myself,
Right.
I recently just had to full on detach from Twitter, Instagram, and essentially like what I was doing was I would come home from work, put the phone on one side of the house, and then I was on the complete other side and had it on silent and just left it there because I was like, all my energy was being spent in the virtual and I was losing it in reality because I was misjudging everything.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like a lot of times we'll do that where we notice we're stressed out, we're freaking out, we're constantly scrolling, and we'll say we're busy, but we say that because we're literally just trying to detach.
Right.
And we're finding that solitude. And once we regain like the enjoyment of solitude, it's very hard to reconnect.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite of you. I just, you know, like
Yeah.
I joined Twitter because I lost a bet to this guy.
Yo, what?
I joined Twitter because I lost a bet to this guy.
So you set him up.
It was the first year of the Bulls, not the Bulls, the Heat, when we were at, I'll never forget, we were at PJ's.
Yeah.
And it was like, yo, if they lose this game, you got to join Twitter.
What
And
what
I
kind of
literally
bet?
just.
No, because and you know why it was for a while. I've been trying to just get him out because he has this thing where it's like he likes his solitude. He doesn't want to connect. If he sees you, he sees you. So I was like, yo, fuck that. We're gonna get you to connect, and the best way we're gonna do that is if we get you on social media.
So when they lost the game, you know, I had to join. And I
Set it
just
up.
joined Instagram like, what, 2 months ago?
Yeah,
you on the
he-
gram
Yeah,
now.
Just-
beginning of the year,
joined.
literally.
Literally, yeah.
Beginning of the year.
Yeah, so.
I don't know. I prefer Twitter more than anything because Twitter is like you could actually talk to either celebrities or whatever, anyone. You can talk to anyone.
But
I
I also
love
feel
hate for
I actually kind of grew to like Instagram as much as I
Yeah,
thought it was
same.
stupid.
I love
Like the more I
Instagram so
use
much
it, I
more.
realize like it's a platform where you express yourself, and sometimes words can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might find an image, you might find a text, or you might just have like I know people who like to cook or people who like to draw, and they could post that. I mean, you could do the same on Twitter, but I feel like the communication channel is less.
Yeah.
It's much more concise and clean on Instagram.
I just feel like when Twitter just got overrun with bots and everybody was just showing how easily they can be affected by the 140 and now it's 280, but just they'll read that and that was enough for them to just go on huge rants. And it's like, did you even consider the source? Like, did you click the link and notice
Yeah.
like it's literally a bot that you're raging at to now? Like from that moment, I was kind of like, you know what, this app, until it cleans up itself, I'm just gonna use it for sports.
you know what I
I'm gonna
mean?
use it for like
Very
live
limited.
tweeting events, like things of that nature. Like if,
Yeah.
you know, when Game of Thrones is on, like, all right, now I'm gonna use Twitter. Like
Yeah.
because I know people are gonna be talking Thrones.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm like, I'll go to Instagram because there,
Safe.
it's really a lot of I feel like it's so much easier to just stick to my people on Instagram
Oh,
without
100%.
having other people interject
At all.
to any little thing.
Yeah.
But how has social media impacted the growth of your business?
Yo, social media is the reason why I actually have a business, to be perfectly honest with you. I started this, registered it March 2012. Did my first run, 73 pieces, sold out of that. I did what most people should do. Hit up your people first. Get your brothers wearing it. Get your cousins, your sisters, your mama, your granny, whoever. Get your whole family, because that's probably a 25, 30 people right there that are going to support. Then you go to the people that you know, your friends, whatever. You can even go to your employees, your work, whoever you're at. And by that point, that's why I was sold out. But I went through a process of just really talking to people about their brand, and they gave me input, and I had to stop and think, like, what do I want to do? So
Right.
with the person that I was with at the time, who told me about Instagram. I used to wake up and see her in the morning all the time on this thing called Instagram. I'm like, what is this? I don't like that. What's this point of this? Scrolling and liking a picture? I'm not doing that. She told me, yo, if you join Instagram, I guarantee your business is going to boom. I made the new collection at this point. Instagram was a way for people to see it, for me to share it, get people in on the action right away. And oh yeah, you know I don't drink. So
Oh, yeah.
it's for the people listening. No, I never did it. Never
2 for
drank,
me.
Never
Never
smoked.
drank?
No, never drank. Never smoked. No
That's
coffee.
dope.
No nothing.
He's a better man than me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, trust me, I stay clean, right? So clean mind, clean body. I mean, I say clean. I love puts-ins. I mean, I'm gonna tell you straight up.
Hey, when it comes to food,
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely no judgment.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, yeah, unless you eat the swine.
I mean, I'm vegetarian, so I don't play with it,
My
right?
God.
You
That's
see what I'm
the one
saying?
thing I've cut back on, so you would be proud of me.
I am. Jason, you're quiet over there. You still eat the swine, don't you?
You saw the lean?
Well, I
he
do
know-
get weak to bacon. I have to
You
admit
do,
it. man.
but-
I get weak to
Bro,
bacon.
What's
There's-
wrong with bacon?
There's so
I
many
love,
good.
like-
There's so many good vegan bacon out there.
See,
It just-
From bacon?
It shouldn't be
that-
called bacon.
Can we
if
just
it's
have?
vegan.
And look, I have no problem with having bacon alternatives.
right.
Just don't call it bacon.
It's just for marketing, so you
It's
understand.
marketing purposes.
Like,
Look, it's turkey strips.
Okay.
It's
yo,
black bean strips.
Okay,
Whatever you
plant-based,
want, the strips.
plant-based strips, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
because bacon is literally the title for swine.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
fine.
bacon.
Okay, fine. But you know what the fuck I was talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
I do know.
I
what you're
get
talking
it.
And look, I've had some great turkey strips. Incredible. Like I've had that alternative before, but sometimes when I hear that the bacon has been soaking in some maple,
Yeah, the sizzling sound. I know that. That's different. I can't lie.
there.
That's
Look,
different.
that's a weakness. I can
Yeah.
admit. I can admit my faults.
It's not a fault. I don't consider that a fault. I just
It's a
think.
fault when
You
you're
ain't
trying to
gotta
be
put no-
healthier.
you don't gotta
No,
put
it's
no
not a
oil in
fault. It's not even a fault because like,
Just
like
cooks
I was.
itself.
It's delicious.
This guy.
You don't even got to add butter to the pan.
Exactly, it just cooks itself.
in its own fat. Oh, it's
Yo,
so
I
good.
know. But
I've
like,
never had bacon like that. It's like pork bacon, so
Oh.
I couldn't
Yeah, yeah,
attest to
I
what
used
it
to make
tastes
that. I
like.
had to cook that A&W. I had to do all that stuff, and I learned the techniques. And
Dude, I tell you right now,
Damn.
thank God for the Beyond Meat burger.
oh, hey, I got some sitting in the fridge
It's
right
so
now.
good, man. It's
IGA,
so
I'm telling
good.
y'all right now, get your.
I
Beyond
literally
Meat.
just
so
saw
good,
Dame
man.
Dash receive a package on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Dude, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
That's the thing. Like that's $1 billion industry right there. But
Yeah.
that plant based, and that's
It's
it. They're
going
gonna take
public
over.
soon.
Yeah,
It's going
it's going
public.
public
Invest
soon.
if
Yeah.
you want to.
What?
It's
it's
going public.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
yeah.
company's going
Launching
public, so
IPO,
invest
so.
into it.
yeah.
Like I would
Shoot.
suggest investing in that more so than people were doing for marijuana.
Oh hell yeah!
Getting on there, yeah.
'Cause
Because
Beyond Meat, it's-
government can't say shit
It's
about
going
that.
to be
Oh.
such a global
Yeah.
takeover.
Iman, we have a question for you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So they want to know like your clothing. What are like either where you can get it. We can do that later, but I wanted to do early for people who's like listening now.
Yeah.
So like where you can get it, how much you're selling, how much you're selling it for, who is it catered to, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so Pure Lux can be found on, purelux.com, Instagram, Pure Lux. That's PURELUCKX, Facebook. And you can legit buy it off of Instagram. You can buy it off of Facebook. You can buy it from the website. You can purchase it anywhere that you use social media. It's catered to 17 to 35-year-old students, people who just really live a more free life, who really don't care so much about a whole bunch of messaging that probably doesn't make sense to them. Like, I mean, when I mean that, like, for example, if you're wearing a shirt and you're wearing a band T-shirt only because another kid's wearing it, you're just following a fad. But if you're wearing a shirt from a Montreal brand, one that actually tells you what this is and what you're supporting, you know what it is that you're putting your money into. Like, you're not just buying something just for a fad. It's like, this is Montreal, this is Pure Lux. The meaning is as simple as it is. Purity, luck, X is unknown. So you don't know when luck is going to hit you. And it's the purest form of that luck when you don't know. It's like, it's very simple in my mind. I don't know if it's simple for other people, but at the end of the day, it's a Montreal brand, man. Like, I don't like to get too much into this extra meaning. I'm not like saying, oh, we're global. I'm not doing all that extra stuff.
Right.
It's a simple brand. It's PURELUCKX. Montreal designs, Montreal bread. I mean, we have different price range, anything from 20 to 100, 110. It depends on what product you're looking to get.
And it's quality. We're all wearing
yeah.
a jersey right now.
That's the thing.
And hands down, we're vouching. It's
A lot better quality than it was a few years ago because I was, you're learning. You're looking to find the best quality. And one of the things you got to know is that to get better quality, you got to pay for better quality. So it has to be reflective in the price. That's why there's been a price increase this year. But just because I want to put my name behind something that I really, truly believe in.
You can stand behind, yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
like,
need
you know what I mean?
some sun for this. 'cause
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, trust me, that's going to last. Like that,
Yeah, I know.
tried and true. I've had it before I put it out. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of stuff before I put it out, just wearing it, and it's still good, right? So, yeah, I mean, check it out. Check the website. New website coming May 9th. cleaned up. It's not same feel, just a lot more clean. We're gonna have toddler clothing coming out soon, kids clothing, socks, all that stuff. Like that's a little tidbit.
I'm gonna get it for
suits.
the nieces and little cousins.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm thinking about. I'm not stupid about it, but now I have the funds to do it.
Right.
I have 5 nephews, right? And I mean all the ranges. I'm trying to get them all laced up, right? So it's like, yo, I might as well make it for everybody. So toddlers and everything, we're really putting in money to the business, and I want to give back and make sure that all of Montreal supporting. You know what I mean?
You deserve.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I love that. All right. Unless we got any other questions for you, man, should we just start geeking out?
I mean, I'm trying to geek out, to be honest. Wait, hold on. You ready? I'm about to start getting into it.
I know did you even see Endgame? I know you don't really care about it.
Okay, so it's us. Let's do it.
We could geek out.
Yeah, you can do
Yeah.
Because we already warned the listeners last week. We were talking about it this week.
Okay, let's get it over with.
You have
Go ahead. Begin.
Don't rush us,
Oh, no,
okay?
you can't rush this.
This has been 11 years.
Yeah, that's right.
22 movies in the making.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay?
wait. We have one more question.
Oh,
One
there
more?
is?
Yeah, we have. Let me just read it here. What kind of print method do you use? Silk or heat pressed or anything like that? They're asking you.
So the sweater that Jason's wearing that you see right there, that is a combination of vinyl. So the sleeve is a vinyl, basic vinyl. The bunny is a 3D brick material, which is also a form of vinyl, but it has a thicker base to it, matte finish. What do they know you as lanky? What do they know you as?
There's Lefty, they know me as
Lefty?
Lanky, they know me as Matthew.
Okay, so yeah, I know him as Lanky, right? So Lanky's wearing a screen print. That's basic acrylics, whatever, paints and stuff like that. And I'm actually have embroidery. So this is embroidered material. So I use different things depending on what the design is. So like I felt that the bunny logo would look better if it had a material to it as opposed to just a print.
Yeah.
But I'm doing another crew neck sweatshirts, t-shirts, zipper hoodies that have embroidered bunnies. So depending on the design, like this is embroidered, I'll use different materials.
That's
Depends.
dope.
Like it's all Montreal or Toronto based.
Let me also suggest sleeveless hoodies and t-shirt hoodies, for the summertime. Just throwing it out there.
Hoodies and t-shirts. Okay,
Yeah.
so I gotta.
Sleeveless hoodies.
I mean, yeah, I've seen that
Yo.
before, but
No,
Do you
they're
know
actually
people that
they're
go to the
actually-
gym love
yeah,
sleeveless
that's more
hoodies?
gym wear. Yeah.
But not only that,
Bro,
like
you get-
I seen people
Let me
style
tell you
that real
something.
fresh.
I'll pay for the sleeveless hoodie, my friend.
No,
I'll
I'm
pay
not.
for plenty.
I'm not even mad at that because, like I said, my goal is to be everywhere. So I want to actually get as many audience and people
Hey.
wearing it. So
Me in a sleeveless hoodie this color at Big Meats, my
imagine.
friend.
I was
Oh,
gonna
no,
say
that would
you
be
sound
it.
like a bully from the '80s. That's what they used to wear.
Oh,
trust me, you know what I
wow.
mean? Oh no, I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm not even mad at that.
I'm just
So,
saying, I know where I'd take it.
Yeah. No, I'm not mad at
putting
that.
it out
man.
there.
I want to have as many pieces as possible. So
Hey, man, you're my brother, man.
Yeah,
I
we'll
don't
look
mind
into
giving you
that.
ideas.
sleeveless hoodie for the okay.
So, yeah. Let's
So
geek
yes,
out.
now we can geek out.
Oh yes, go ahead, geek.
Oh man, this
The
movie.
Piece de Resistance.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What a fucking movie that
And
was.
if anyone
They went
doesn't
for the
know,
head
we're
already.
talking
Oh, they
Endgame.
went for the head.
They went for the head.
Oh, my God. All right. Before I just start rambling, Jason, do you want to kick this off? Because I'm already too excited.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna let everyone know we're spoiling Endgame. We all saw it.
Yeah, if you had a week.
You had a week. We all saw it.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to listen, stop listening for the next 10, 15
Yeah,
minutes.
just cut it now.
That's
Come
what.
back to us.
In
So,
the
yeah.
description, we'll let you know where you can start listening again.
Exactly.
So yeah, where did you see? I kind of had an idea where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
It
I
felt
did too.
more like an Ant-Man movie to me, which wasn't bad, which is not
Yeah.
bad. And I like how it ended. It felt like the whole series ended. I was surprised Black Widow died, and I was kind of surprised Tony Stark died. But I imagine because it's Marvel, they're gonna come back maybe in the next 5-6 years.
Well, Tony's
or
going to
so.
come back because of the holograms. He's
Yeah.
essentially going to become like a new Jarvis. I'm not surprised he died, though, because he's the one who started everything.
I still think he'll come back.
Yeah,
still
so
think
I
he'll come back.
Yeah.
feel like they just did like a full circle thing with him. Black Widow dying was a bit surprising to me just because we knew like she was going to have a movie coming out, and they only announced after like this came out that it would be a prequel.
Yeah.
So like knowing that, okay, she died and they're like, it's going to be a prequel. I was like, okay, that's why essentially they're doing it this way. But it still was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
Unless like you heard the name of the planet they were going to, then you're like, oh, one of these two are going to die. Like,
Yeah.
Had to be.
When I was watching the movie, I thought, oh, they have to go to Vormir. I'm like, is Captain America gonna go there? because he's gonna see Red Skull.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it
And I was
was
like,
all a
whoa,
matter
how-
of who's gonna end up at Vormir, like who's gonna go. And
Wait,
when those two went, I was like,
No, wait, hold on. He had to return the Soul Stone to Vormir, so wouldn't he ultimately see him?
We don't know what happens though. That's the thing. We
Because
don't
he
know.
had to return all the stones to keep the timeline for them intact. So he would have had to have seen him.
He
if
probably
went.
had to go back, but we wouldn't
the
know
thing
what
about the
happened.
Soul Stone too, it's the only one that technically keeping it, nothing would happen. Because you can't give it back to bring her back to life.
But then how would Gamora have died? And what I mean? He got the stone when he dropped her off in that timeline.
That's a good question.
So you
What do you
have to
mean?
bring it back, creating a new timeline. Because of know what? I don't know.
We just tripped ourselves out here.
Yo, I was thinking about that for a minute because remember when Gamora when she was in the Soul Stone, she was there in Thanos' paradise, but we didn't see, Black Widow in any type of way. There was no mention of her after the fact. So like, does she exist in that stone?
Well, the
with
Gamora
Gamora
we saw is technically prior to Thanos getting
It's like
the stone.
9 years.
Yeah.
9 years
Yeah,
before.
Which is why she
2014.
essentially like fucked off, because her connection with all those like the Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
she never had that build up.
Yeah.
Her only thing was connection with Nebula was like technically a rival, and Thanos. So Thanos being gone, she just kind of fucks off.
Yeah, so that's that Gamora. The first one dies.
Yeah,
she's in the Soul Stone.
She can't come back because she was in
Yeah.
that Soul Stone that is a part of their timeline, which they can't reverse.
So then, where does Black Widow lie in their timeline in the Soul Stone?
Black Widow is technically the Soul Stone, so if he gives it back, technically it's back on Vormir.
Yeah.
You can't get her back no
Yeah,
matter what.
but then she still exists in that Soul Stone.
She technically would.
Yeah, yeah, because you can't get they
Yeah.
can't reverse whatever. You
To
can put
get the
100
Soul Stone,
souls
you
in
need
there
a soul. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's the only soul that's stuck in the Soul Stone, essentially.
at this point.
Yeah.
No one never dies in this thing. That's why I said there'll be most likely a chance they'll come back. That's
Yeah.
why I say maybe Tony Stark will come back as a hologram, whatever.
But, as a
But I
person,
think maybe give it 5 years.
That's why I
Get
don't
him back
watch
for a
these
big.
shows.
Get him back for a big
No
movie.
one really dies. What the fuck am I?
Well,
Tony dead, man.
yeah,
Huh?
he's dead in this timeline.
That boy dead.
I bet you he's dead in this timeline, and I guarantee I'm putting it out there in 4 or 5 movies from now, they're gonna go to a time travel. You will see him again.
Yeah, maybe
not
in the
same
past.
Tony.
It'll be like in the
because,
past.
but like no, because in Captain America, he stays. Remember, he stays with I can't remember her name, Miss Carter.
Yeah.
So he stays with her,
Maggie.
creating a whole new timeline, still doing what he does, changing Tony Stark's destiny. So in that timeline, he might not even be Iron Man. There might not even exist a
Like
Iron Man.
we were talking about prior, I do think, well, we know for sure there is one timeline that got messed up because Loki managed to escape.
Yeah.
And we do know when the Disney streaming service comes out, there will be a Loki television show, which that was their way of saying this is how we got this show.
Yeah.
Now you have like the regular timeline, which we know Captain America went past where he was supposed to go so that he could have his relationship with Maggie. I do believe that in some way, although it didn't affect their future, it affected their timeline.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to see what repercussions of him living out that life with Maggie
it.
does to their timeline, essentially.
Yeah. Like what villains are created, what heroes are created from that. And that's when you can introduce, they can actually introduce, I'm just saying it, Fantastic Four and X-Men in that timeline because they can be like, they didn't exist here because of the events of this didn't happen.
Oh, it's a good way to just
Yeah.
pop them in.
That's
Just be
how it
like,
is.
hey, you thought you fixed things, but you still kind of screwed up a few things here and there. And now we know how to do time travel because of what you messed up. And we're able to come through here and just switch a bunch of shit up.
Phase 4 is going to be
But
nasty.
like
though.
I was saying, I feel like a villain that they should, although we know Adam Warlock, like you mentioned to me before we jumped on the mic, I feel like with this whole timeline situation and the small mistakes they did trying to get the stones in the first place can lead towards them bringing us Kang the Conqueror. And I feel like he would be a great person
Too
to have.
obscure. They'll never bring him. Too obscure.
No, it wouldn't be, dude. The whole fact that we had people like
They're gonna bring bigger
Whiplash
people.
and fucking Ultron's not obscure, but we know they can create a story and they can create timeline of movies that will bring us there.
If Kang were to come back, it's not gonna be in an Avenger movie. It's gonna be in a regular simple movie.
No, I feel like it would have to be in connection to Fantastic Four, but he's a big enough villain that you can create, especially since we know a lot of the things that's going to be happening in Phase 4 will have to do with space. Like they're going there.
For me, there's only two villains you can come up with after Thanos. It's either you keep it grounded and you have Doctor Doom,
100%.
or it's Galactus. It's one of the two. It has to be one of the two.
That's going
I
big.
want them to have Victor Von Doom above all else.
For sure.
But do not give me him unless you thoroughly give us Fantastic Four.
It'll be fine.
Like proper Fantastic
like
Four.
You gotta really give us a proper Fantastic Four, really entrench them in the MCU.
Yeah.
So that way, when we start showing how badass Victor Von Doom is, it makes sense.
Yeah, like his ego's got to be there. He can't be a punk character. Like
there's a reason this guy in Secret Wars becomes a freaking god.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what I mean?
show us at least the building blocks of how a man like that could become that.
Speaking of, because Yusef is in the chat, he was talking about Spider-Man with Madam Web. That's a way you could probably introduce Doctor Doom and Fantastic Four. You could introduce them through Secret War.
Yeah.
And because Doctor Doom is in it.
Doom is one of like the
Doom
main
is in it. Fantastic Four is in it.
Is he doing?
And who else is in it?
he does.
Some X-Men are in it.
Yeah, well, Secret Wars, it's pretty much a whole Marvel Universe entrapment. Like even Thanos is a part of Secret War.
Yeah, but
because of the shit that
they're
goes down.
They're gonna change that around unless they do some more time travel bullshit.
I mean, if they want to throw that scene in with Doctor Doom and Thanos, I don't know if you guys know it. It'd be pretty dope.
I think because you're saying it, and I think I know what you're
like.
talking
I want to
about.
say it without saying it, just in case it's like spoiler to people who are reading the comics.
It's a comic. I mean, no. I mean, the comic. Like, nah, you got time. Everything's a spoiler at this point. Okay.
Well, essentially, Thanos gets his spine ripped out of his body by Victor Von Doom because he came in talking that hot shit, being like,
people don't understand how strong he is, man.
And
Thanos
like at this point, like he had the power of the Eternals.
Yeah.
So like Victor Von Doom just looks at Thanos like, yeah, you don't have the gauntlet anymore. Like you're not who you think you are.
Oh, don't forget the Eternals is coming out. They're doing that too.
Yeah.
So you already know this is.
I don't know how that's gonna.
I don't know.
I don't know how.
Are you guys done geeking yet?
No.
No, because we kind of strayed away from the film itself.
Yeah.
Tearjerker moments. Like, did anything really have you in your feels?
I'm gonna say straight up, that whole Tony funeral, the daughter, the hologram, everything at that point, man, I felt something holding right here in the corner of my eye. Just wouldn't let go.
Dude, from the moment Spider-Man was like, we did it.
Yeah.
We beat him.
I knew it.
Stark. We beat him. And Stark was like, oh, you got
it's happening.
God damn it, Peter, you got me again.
Yo, why is he so good at that? Why is he so good?
He's a great actor.
Moments, man.
He's a real good actor. He's a great actor.
I was literally just looking at him like, well, first off, this is Pepper's moment. Move. Yeah. But second off, don't do this to me, man.
Yo, and I'm looking at Captain America. I'm like, okay, Pepper handled it like a boss, and I was like, you know,
oh my god,
respect.
She was just like, you can rest now, and I love the fact that was like her last words to him because his whole thing was being like the insomniac, like he's
never
anxiety,
sleeping,
PTSD. Like ever since the events that happened in New York, he has been struggling with his premonitions and what he saw, and because he technically was the only person who saw how powerful Thanos' army was.
Yeah.
Because he went through that portal to throw the nuke at them, and on his way down, he's like, I'm dying, but I'm watching all this while I'm dying.
Yeah.
So for him to like, from that moment and everything he was doing to like put the shield around Earth.
Yeah. That's why they didn't understand like what he means. Like,
none of them could understand it.
Yeah.
So
and also his premonition, remember with not Black Widow. Black Widow, what's her name again? Scarlet. Yeah. And then he saw that dream and he kind of foresaw like what was gonna happen.
Yeah, he literally saw the doom of the Avengers and like the shield breaking, like everybody dead, and just being like, is this our fate? You know, and that just propelled his anxiety even more. Yeah. So for him to essentially be that sacrifice that ended it all and brought down Thanos and saved the universe, is like, your job's done.
I mean, that moment, Captain America wielding the hammer. Ooh, yo.
I kind of saw that part coming though.
I knew they were going to do it because it was one of those things where we knew certain things from Infinity Gauntlet, like the comic book, had to come. And that moment, I remember like in the theater, to myself, I go alone.
Yeah.
I'm sitting beside these two black guys, and on the other side I had like these two French dudes.
Yeah.
Like early on in the movie, we were kind of getting pissed off at the fact that like any little thing people were shouting.
Yeah.
But at a certain point where it's like, all right, now like the movie's going, we can get into it.
Yeah.
Literally when we saw Thanos over Thor and like he's pushing the axe into him, kind of like a callback to like the reverse of what happened before.
Yeah.
And being like, oh shit, like is this actually gonna go
Yeah,
down?
no, yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, all right, which one of you is gonna use the hammer? Like I was waiting, I'm like, which one of you is gonna call the hammer or which one is gonna pick it up?
Yeah.
And when you just saw it fly and smack Thanos in the head, I'm like, okay, so we called it.
Yeah.
But when it went back, I was like, oh bitch, it's about to happen.
It's going down.
Yo, the black guy beside me is like, Captain, you motherfucker. Like he said it, the second you just see him go, ring. All of us, the whole
Yeah.
row of us, are like, let's fucking go. Like,
Let's get
don't
it.
even know each other. We all just get up and we're yelling, like,
Oh, yeah.
"Ah, let's fucking go.
Yo, this man smacked him up.
Dude.
boy.
I kind of
So lit.
saw it coming because when I saw Thor get the hammer back when he went back in time, I'm like, why does he need the hammer again? And I was like, oh, okay, I can see he's gonna use
Yeah.
both, or something's gonna happen. I can see something.
Honestly, like, such great writing, too, because that moment when, Thor reaches out and, like,
waiting
Rocket's,
for
like,
it,
kind of
yeah.
sitting there, like,
It takes a
what is
while.
he doing? He's like, it takes a little while. Like, just these little moments that they have is like,
exactly, because if you know about the series, if you've been
Yeah.
following it, that makes it more appreciative. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't watch it,
But my favorite part though with Cap
yeah.
is when he goes back into the elevator.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Like,
Hail
And
Hydra.
he says Hail Hydra.
which was
like-
another callback to
Yeah.
the
elevator
comics
scene.
when he, like, that series that they had where he reveals himself as a Hydra
a
agent.
secret agent, which was
Yeah.
weird, but then you have to fight
Dude,
himself.
that, I
which is-
love that because I'm like, all right. I was thinking like, what is he gonna do? Because of everything we know, are we gonna have a fight again? But we can't have that fight because you're gonna fuck up the timeline. So the second he just goes Hail Hydra, was like, oh, you guys are
this
you
is a
cheeky
bastard.
bastards.
Yeah. No, and the thing is, I didn't realize until after the fact. There's like Avengers Assembled. Like he never said it before, and I'm like, oh, that's true. He
Yeah.
got cut off. We're like Avengers Assemble, yo, let's go.
It's so good.
Epi,
man.
Epi said on chat that he figured he could lift it in Age of Ultron, but decided not to because it would have disrupted team dynamics.
Well, I know that's
But that's the
crazy.
thing. He got it to shift.
Yeah.
And then you look at his hands, he literally like lets it go. Like it wasn't even like I can't do it. It
Yeah.
was just a straight up, it shifted and then boom, lets
Yeah.
it go. And you saw Thor's face too, just being like,
Yeah, because he thinks he's the strongest Avenger. So like
Yeah.
to see that would be like, yo, my ego, like, yo, man went limp.
the
Thor,
strongest Avenger.
You know?
Thor in this movie, even though they made him kind of overweight and everything like that, his personality is the
Oh, yeah,
they
best
found it. They
Thor.
found
The
it.
one thing I
The
found
best
in this
Thor.
film that I really appreciated was because Paul Rudd, we know him in any movie he is.
Yeah, now.
He steals scenes.
Yeah.
Like he will full on just take over a scene by doing his mannerisms, the way he just says his lines. Like he's just so good at that.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were able, because of like, they showed each of like the main Avengers that we know, they're grieving and the way they grieve.
Yeah.
And for what they turned Thor into from Ragnarok,
Yeah.
and have him now, it's like he's grieving, he's sad, but he's still technically himself. So he's like, yeah, like we can't do anything about it. It's done. So I'm just gonna drink, play Fortnite with my boys.
Yeah.
This is my life now. It's like there's nothing more I can do. But he still had that like there's an underlying optimism.
Yeah.
And that's where his like comedic self was coming through, where looking at him all pudgy, he's like, yeah, but you know what I did with that axe, right? I killed Thanos with it. I was like, did you kill Thanos with that axe? Just like kind of remind him, like, I still am who I am, even though I'm not who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
I really appreciated them showing just how each and every single one of them was trying to cope with the fact that half the universe is essentially wiped out.
Yeah. Brilliant's gone, man.
But the best scene
Really?
is,
More?
yes,
I'm
last
sorry, Jamali, but this is a cultural phenomenon,
Yeah.
okay?
I'm not
Like I
gonna-
said, 11 years, 22 movies in the making.
I give you guys 11 minutes of my life that I'm never getting back.
Yet here you are
horrible.
being so great and so
I
wonderful.
mean, just give
No,
us
but
another 4 real quick.
the best scene, obviously, I think everyone could imagine all of them coming together on that one screen and kept saying Avengers Assemble.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
That's the moment.
That was
shit.
so boss, man. That
Yo,
was
that's a
so
lot of
boss.
motherfuckers on that screen.
Dude, when he's just like, Cap, are you there?
yeah.
On your left. I was like,
Yo,
you
another callback.
cheeky bastard.
see Black Panther. You see Black Panther come out the portal with everyone.
Oh, man, it was so
Hey,
dope.
another thing, like you said,
And you know who's really underrated but who's really good? Two people, Hawkeye and Nebula.
Oh, yeah.
Really good in this movie.
Yeah.
Hawkeye and Nebula.
Like
especially
I
Hawkeye.
love that they gave Nebula an arc in this that is
Yeah.
appreciative, And even though it's like you had like a clone or a double of her, but just showing, when she was with Thanos, even though she wasn't as good as Gamora, she was still ruthless as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, she was still somebody that you couldn't just take lightly.
Yeah.
And then knowing Nebula, who's literally trying to change who she is and trying to essentially rebrand herself and be a better person than she was with Thanos, you got like a very complex look of the mind of Nebula and what makes her so enjoyable and respectable.
Yeah.
And that's what I really love what they did with her in this film.
I'm looking forward to Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Dude, Hawkeye
3.
just
That's what I'm looking
Hawkeye
for.
going rogue and just
Freaking
killing everyone
Ronan.
because he lost his family.
Freaking
Man.
Ronan.
Oh man.
Yo, actually, wait, who called himself? Did he call himself Hawkeye, or he called his daughter Hawkeye?
Yeah. Well, technically, the only time in the film, or I think in the cinematic universe, Hawkeye's ever referenced was towards him saying it to his daughter.
Yeah.
Because the only other time he's ever been called Hawk anything was in the first Avengers,
Yeah.
where they're like, "Where's Clint?" And they're like, "Oh, you mean the Hawk?" And he
Yeah.
was like all the way at the top of the porch, like watching everything that they were doing. You
Yeah.
know, that's the only other time they've ever said Hawk or Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Which is
crazy.
wild to think about, and
I'm
it's
like-
something that you just completely miss.
Yeah, like the man's name is Chris.
Yeah.
Like, yo, Chris with the arrow. Like,
yeah,
like, oh,
like that's
weird.
all they ever would call him.
Yeah, man.
Where the hell did Jason go?
Bathroom, I guess.
Bathroom break. I don't blame him.
Yeah, no, because this can get
Hey,
long, but I
It's
think we
amazing
need to,
you guys like talk about this as if like it's real life and this shit happened.
Yo,
and
it's real,
It's
man.
so fucking.
It's a moment.
It's
Yo,
fascinating. I'm just sitting here and I'm just like,
Look,
these guys
man.
are talking about this shit like it's on like news and these are like
It
a
was
universe they
3
live in.
hours of
It didn't even feel like 3 hours.
no,
Not
at
even
all.
close.
Not at all. Not at all.
Like I mean, I've seen all the Iron Man movies. I've seen most of the Spider-Man movies
Spider-Man for sure.
or whatever, bro.
My man switched
Plural.
up.
Yeah, well, there was
Plural.
multiple actors,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah,
during that
Spider-Man.
series.
Spider-Man is correct.
Yeah.
I love X-Men. X-Men's a dope. I like all. I watched every last one of those.
Oh, they got
But-
the
Oh,
Dark
we're gonna do
Phoenix
Dark
coming out.
Phoenix. I don't know, man. They're struggling with that one.
I can
But-
tell you for a fact it's not good.
Look,
Yeah, because
I don't
did they
expect
reshoot
it to
some
be.
like
I don't expect it to be phenomenal. I'm just gonna watch it because I have been watching them. I'll probably watch it on like
I
a
get to-
Tuesday or a matinee.
yeah, Tuesday for
You
sure.
know,
I'm
it's not
gonna
an opening night.
Yeah,
that's what it is
100%.
to me. It's not
I'm
like
chilling.
I'm
even
not
like
gonna spoil it because I've seen a good majority of it.
okay, so seal your tongue.
No. Wait.
It could be worse than Last Stand.
Okay, good.
It could be worse.
I
Which
didn't
one?
Like that one.
X3. No,
Oh yeah,
X3.
that-
Yeah, X3 was the other Phoenix one.
Look, as long as it's
Yeah.
better
Could
than
be worse.
Apocalypse, I'll be okay.
I didn't like that Apocalypse at all. That was just
If
weird
it's
for
better
me.
than Apocalypse, I'll be okay. Because Apocalypse
How much
was
movies are in
my
this- in this
favorite.
series?
for X-Men, there's
X-Men villain.
six.
Like,
No,
He
no,
was
but
my
like I'm
favorite, and
talking
they
about
just
whatever you guys were talking
Botched
about.
him completely.
You guys were talking about the whole
MCU?
Marvel
About
That's
22?
That's 22 for Marvel.
for in the last 11 years.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, 22 movies.
Iron Man came out yesterday, 2 days ago.
How many hours is each of those movies?
Roughly 2 hours
apiece.
plus.
Endgame is the longest one.
So you guys lost 2 days of your lives.
No,
I didn't lose. I gained a
That was
better
a great
life.
investment.
I'm a better
That was
man because
a
of it.
great investment. And they're actually coming out with a full like Blu-ray of Phase 1, 2, and 3, all 22 movies,
up.
all behind
Actually,
the
no,
scenes.
No, that doesn't make any sense then, because the last Phase 3 movie would be Far From Home. That's the last one.
No, I think they're saying Far From Home is going to be a part of Phase 4.
That don't make no sense.
Gonna start.
Yeah,
Are you
I
sure?
think they're saying Endgame is literally the end of the phase. That's what I heard
Yeah.
about from when I was reading up on this box collection. They said the end of Phase 3 was Endgame. So maybe we get surprised and they say Far From Home is a part of it. I don't know,
Yeah.
but from what I was reading up from the box set, they said it's from Iron Man all the way up till Endgame.
So that's
Yeah.
beginning of Iron Man, the end of Iron Man, right there.
There you go.
Actually, you know what's messed up about that? Shouldn't Incredible Hulk be the first one?
Technically,
Yo, that's messed up. It technically should be.
Well, no, Hulk came out after Iron Man.
No, Incredible
No.
Hulk was before that. It's the first one. Let's go Hulk and then
Wait.
Incredible Hulk, then Iron Man.
Oh, you mean
Yeah, you're
the Ang
think-
Lee?
No,
one.
not Ang Lee. You're talking about the other one, the one with my man. What's his name?
why am I blanking on his name?
Oh.
American History X.
Yeah,
Edward
Blanking on his
Norton.
name.
Edward Norton. Yeah, you right?
That came out after Iron Man.
Nah, before. I guarantee. I put
After
my life on it.
I
I put my life on it.
'Cause
I-
Iron
wait,
Man's
hold
in
on.
it.
I put my Apex Legends score on it. Put it that way.
Iron Man's in it, yeah.
Iron Man. Iron Man's in it though
Yeah, at the end.
because the movie came out after.
Nah, you're lying to me.
I swear to God, I'm telling
Why
you.
are you guys arguing? Just
Literally, we
Google
got
it.
You
the
can
internet.
Google it.
Wait, hold
We
on.
got
Who's
the
Googling?
internet.
What are you Googling?
Because I honestly can't remember.
I remember perfectly.
You
Yeah.
could check out when Iman came out, and Matt, you check when Hulk came out.
Iron
Yeah,
Man
that's
came
what
out in
2008.
2008.
2008.
Which one?
Iron Man.
The Incredible Hulk.
It's June 2008.
Yeah.
And Iron Man came out earlier.
Oh, that's messed up.
But wasn't it supposed to
1
be
month
Hulk
before?
first?
That's why I got confused. It was 1 month before.
Wasn't it
Yeah,
Hulk
they're like
supposed
back.
to come
They're
out
essentially
first?
back to
No,
back.
it was Iron Man came out first. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
They're literally like back to back. That's
Yeah,
why.
1 month apart. Got to mix.
Yeah,
up.
no one remembers that movie.
Yo,
I didn't put my X. I
was
didn't put
okay
my
for what it
Xbox
was.
score on
It
it.
wasn't bad. Yeah, it
wasn't
wasn't
bad. It was
bad.
okay for what it
was
was.
too much of like they tried to make it too espionage-y, even though it's a simple story of man versus self.
Yeah.
You know, like all like the running around trying to cure himself, and
Oh my
you know, like I
gosh.
got to see this person in this country and do this, and now they're chasing. Like, just stick to. He's a scientist who's trying to cope with the fact that he has a monster inside of him, and the government's trying to capture him. That simple.
Yo, I got one last thing. I don't want to keep you though, but we didn't talk about Professor Hulk and how y'all felt about him.
Cool. I like him
loved
that way.
I'm not even
Professor
gonna lie.
Hulk?
I loved it, man.
Yo,
I like him that way.
And the one thing I
But yo, his sweaters.
yo, he had a sweater game was on point, huh? Yo, I'm gonna make a Pure Lux exclusive of that, boy. Something.
The 10XL.
I'm telling you. But the one thing I noticed, you know when you use the Infinity Gauntlet, how his arm didn't heal how long later? I'm thinking it's because he's not using the full capacity of Hulk. He's not able to tap into that extra
Yeah,
gamma.
I think it was a mix of that plus the fact that although he was like, I should be able to survive it because it's gamma rays.
Yeah.
If anything should be able to damage him, it's gamma rays.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the thing that creates you is the thing that can also destroy you. So I think that's why it took him that much longer to really just hone in and focus. And then when it hit him, he was like damn near knocked out for like so long
Yeah.
until like the building started crashing down.
Yeah, because based on my understanding of Professor Hulk, is that he, in order to maintain the balance between the two, he can only rage and get to a certain point. And what allows Hulk to be as strong as he is that he in his mind knows no limits. So if he was able to still be able to think, then he couldn't use the Infinity. He couldn't use it because he's just raging, no clear thought of what he's trying to use it for. So it's like, I just have the gauntlet. I'm gonna beat you up with it.
Like drunk Thor trying to be like, no, I'll do it. I'll like, but sit down.
Trust me, he may have been strong
Give it
enough.
to me. I'm
but
the strongest Avenger.
the man's gonna fuck up and call him the wrong thing. Like, God damn it.
Jamal, you don't want to go into the chat. Akeem is talking smack.
What did he say?
You want me to say what he said?
I forgot to jump back.
Yeah,
What'd he
go
say?
on.
What'd he say?
Go on.
He said, the
What a
Pure
great
Luck,
movie,
the
man.
PURELUCKX Hulk is gonna be the only clothes Jamal can wear.
This guy's
Okay.
disrespectful. You know what?
He's such a hater.
Disrespectful.
He's
It's
such a
okay.
hater.
He's
Akeem
gonna get him
knows.
back. Jamal's gonna get back anyways.
I'm not gonna get back. You know, I don't believe on
There's
black
only
on
one
black violence.
comeback we ever need to say when it comes to Akeem. Learn how to eat a burger. You got the chipmunk cheeks, but we love you. Shout out to Broski.
I guess LOL, you got jokes. keep playing.
Jamal like, I'm gonna see you when I see you.
Oh no, I'm not gonna see him. I mean, he's supposed to be a comedian. That's not a funny joke. I mean, that's just like the obvious thing to say. I'm the biggest one on screen, so you know that's why hopefully his career get lifted off.
You hear what he's saying? You play it out, son. You gonna take that?
He's not even
man.
played out. He's washed out before he even got.
I support everyone here, so I want to make sure y'all still cool.
Oh yeah, I'm in Akeem's school.
Hey, I'm not picking sides, man. I'm just
cool.
poking the bear.
You know what I mean?
All right, Jamal.
Man's playing low key right now.
What did he say?
We could be done geeking out for now because we'll get you into a topic that's more suited for you.
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
Game of Thrones.
Oh, fuck out of here.
Yo,
There's
I
no
was about to say I'm out of here at that. I don't know nothing
no
about
one's
that.
there's no fucking Game of Thrones talk today.
No, I'll have my own exclusive. Game
Yes,
of Thrones
please.
talk.
You
Don't
do that
worry
shit
about
on
it.
your
I won't
own.
put you
Separate
through that again,
podcast.
because
Yeah.
If you thought I could talk about Marvel,
No.
my friend.
There's gonna be
Brother,
a new rule
brother,
on this
let me talk.
motherfucker. There's no more Game of Thrones shit being thrown around because
One of the greatest episodes ever.
I don't give a fuck. At this point, the conversation's supposed to be inclusive. I felt
right.
excluded for the last.
All right, so we'll
30
include you.
minutes.
We'll include you.
Should we
now,
do some
Jamal.
would
We'll
you
include
rathers? You know, we've geeked out. Maybe we could just make some fun atmosphere stuff. Should we do some would you rathers?
And
No,
if
we
anyone-
gotta give Jay
No,
Z his prop
And
first.
also,
Oh,
if
you know
anyone's
what?
in
You're
the chat,
absolutely right.
There's a lot of shit we gotta do.
You're absolutely right. Do you wanna
if
lead
anyone in
the way
chat
on that?
ask questions, because then we'll answer them. Anyone has questions in the chat, you can answer them. And
I literally just jumped out the chat because I was about to.
I have it here. Don't worry. If anyone asks something, I could just bring it up.
Cool. All right, let me line up my things here. So yeah,
Excuse me.
we do got to give a shout out to, or not a shout out. Ugh. Rest in peace,
Oh, John Singleton.
John
I
Singleton.
already
Yeah.
know. Oh, wow.
Got to give an RIP to John Singleton. You know,
That's heavy.
youngest black director to ever be nominated for an Oscar. Made
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood.
Ooh.
23 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Has given us countless classics.
Mm-hmm.
Tough loss, man.
Bro, when you look back at his filmography and you look at how many firsts he put on the screen, like Ice Cube, Regina King, you're looking at Morris Chestnut,
Yeah.
you're looking at Cuba Gooding
Good Jr. Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne, when he actually changed his name to Lawrence and not Larry Fishburne.
Right.
You know, he really got his
Exactly.
black card in that movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Dropped Gem, Gentrification. You're talking about giving a start to Tyrese.
Dude, he was talking about
Yo,
gentrification.
Gentrification.
Can't
You
even
got
speak.
it. No, you got it.
Gentrification.
I heard you.
Back in like, what was it, like early
93.
90s?
This is
Yeah,
93. So like,
And like the fact that it's still something that today we're
prevalent
dealing
and
with,
relevant
we're trying to
and-
make
Yeah.
sure we don't allow to happen to us in certain spaces. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Man, Boys in the Hood was one of the most gangster movies I've ever seen.
you know what? It's the most gangster movie without being too gangster. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was just so real.
because
But I hate when people say that because I don't think it was a gangster movie. I think it really was a movie that was full of information.
Yeah.
But people put the whole gangster shit above it.
Yeah.
And it.
they put it above because they didn't. The thing that he did really well was he used the gang lifestyle, because you can't really have that type of story of LA without acknowledging the fact that the things that make this part of LA move is the gang lifestyle, right?
I mean, I just think he depicted real life in an area. I don't like the use
No,
of
and,
gang.
and
just
that's what I
the
mean.
same
Like
way with gangster
it's,
rap.
it's one of those
It's
things
information.
where,
I think when you use the word gang to it, in
And-
this day and age, it takes away. It takes
and that's
away
why
from it.
we got to do our due diligence in letting people understand, like, especially when we recently spoke about Nipsey Hussle and everything he was doing.
Right.
What he did as a gangster was the literal interpretation of what a gangster is supposed to be. You
Right.
are there to not just protect your community, but help
give
build your
back.
community.
Right.
You're giving back. You're making sure that a path is set for
Right.
the people who aren't in that life. They can get their shit done and not fear from anything that's outside forces, as well as everything that you get, you give back.
Yeah.
So when I say, like, they use, or at least John Singleton used the gangster portion of LA and that,
Right.
which is very much prevalent. It's something you can't escape when you're talking about these neighborhoods,
Right.
yeah.
but used it to elaborate why this information is so important.
Yeah.
And I think he
that's
did.
crazy.
I just don't
Boys
like
in
it.
the Hood, at least.
I
is
just don't
something he
like the
did really
fact
well.
that word in our culture today has such a heavy negative connotation, and it takes away from the essential.
Yeah, it's
value
a shame
that
that
is.
it does, but at a certain point, we got to remind people of the realities. And look, we know that there is gangs out there that aren't that way. Like, and it's not just in LA; it's all over.
No,
You know,
no,
like
it's-
there's gangs that strictly go or make that bond because they want to do illegal activity. They don't give a fuck about giving back. It's all about them, and that's a reality in itself. But if we're going to talk about that reality, let's talk about the other reality.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's make sure we keep it balanced. Like that, us in front of the mics, that's our job.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
And don't forget higher learning.
All right. Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
Busta Rhymes
I
on
literally
the
wanted to
film.
like pull out the whole list.
No, I can
because-
pull out the
Didn't
list. I
he
know
do
it.
what-
Poetic Justice.
Poetic
I was literally
justice.
about to
Put
say
Tupac
that.
there with Janet Jackson.
Actually, I
Amazing
honestly
film.
forgot
also
that
did,
he's directed a few
Fast and the
episodes of
Furious.
Too
Snowfall.
Fast, Too Furious.
Right.
Put Paul,
Luda.
put Paul Walker and Tyrese together. Brought Luda onto the scene. He legit created the Fast and Furious. If you literally look at it, like without him putting those central characters into the movie, we wouldn't have had the series the way it is now.
Right.
And man, bro.
And just
come
like
on, Snowfall, bro. Come
and
on.
just to say, like, just some of the more recent
He
stuff
did
that
the show.
he hasn't done
yeah.
everything for, but he's directed a few. Like, he's directed 3 episodes on Snowfall.
And he's executive
He's
producer.
directed on Billions. He's directed on Rebel, American Crime Story. He's directed on Empire. He's directed on, just to name like some of the stuff. He's done 30 for 30.
Oh, come on, Hustle and Flow.
Oh yeah.
Hustle and
Come on,
Flow. He's
man.
done like 4 Brothers, Too Fast
Oh,
and Furious, like
wow.
we
That's
said.
true.
Baby
4
Boy,
Brothers.
which I'm not a big fan of, but
Put
he
Andre
did that.
3000 in the scene.
Shaft. Rosewood.
Oh
like,
yeah, Shop was a
look,
dope ass movie. Yeah.
I can keep going down this list.
Yeah,
But I think you guys get it.
But the thing is, what he did is that he really worked with his community. He really worked with a lot of black
Yeah.
entertainers,
Right.
and like you can see that he touched in different
Well,
areas.
he's the only. There is a agency that is literally in Crenshaw, the only one in Crenshaw that looks for talent.
Yeah.
Looks for actors, looks for people who want to be a part of like the film industry, based in Crenshaw, and it was his. Another situation of giving back to your community, and if you base yourself with your people and you base yourself in the community that helped big you up, you're able to give back and you're able to put all these people on the map in a way that we look at so many of the people that we respect in film and in television, and a vast majority of them have at some point in time had some type of working relationship with John Singleton that's helped propel them.
Yeah.
So,
Baby Boy. How can I not say Baby Boy?
Oh yeah, Baby Boy.
Come on, Snoop Dogg, his first role. Like,
it's like
Wasn't that
these
Tyrese
things.
for one of Tyrese's biggest roles too, right?
No,
because that came out before Too Fast, Too Furious.
exactly. So it was Baby Boy, then
I'm quite
Too
sure it
Fast,
came out
Too
before Too
Furious,
Fast,
and
so-
then
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
so
It
Baby
did.
Boy, Too Fast, Too Furious, and then Four Brothers. So him and Tyrese, like
They've done a lot
basically,
together,
after Tupac passed, because Baby Boy was for Tupac.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was looking for it, and Tyrese just had that. I don't know how Baby Boy's soundtrack would have sounded with Tupac on that chorus, but the point is, he gave him that role. He saw something in him, which allowed him to feed his family, allowed him to...
I mean, he was in literally every Fast and the Furious thereafter.
Yeah, that's the point. Like, imagine that. Like, a movie that you did in the second one, Too Fast, Too Furious is the most cultured one. Like,
Wow.
you
There
did it in
aren't many
Tokyo.
franchises that
that's culture.
hit, like, you just say Fast and Furious,
Yeah.
and people know what you're talking about.
Come on,
But you know,
Too
that's
Fast.
why Tyrese was angry at The Rock when The Rock was holding up everyone's thing. They're just waiting for him because it's like, you're stealing money from the people who actually need to work. And Tyrese
You know,
been
I
on-
understand.
That was a little sensitive,
Look, I
though.
understand Tyree's gripe, but understand at the same time,
Like, bro.
as big as this franchise is, you add The Rock to it,
It's a whole other level. Like, we're going like
and understand too, like, you might be mad that he's doing that, but there's a reason that the franchise tapped him on the
Oh,
shoulder.
I'm not saying
You
The Rock
know?
is bad or anything, but I'm saying is
But he was mostly mad that there was a spin-off coming
that was
because
before.
that's a part of the Fast and Furious franchise that wasn't going to incorporate many of the original Fast and Furious people.
that's fine.
And it's like, what are you complaining about, man?
let
Like,
them do their own thing, and you
yeah.
guys keep on
it's
Fast
like,
and
how are you
Furious.
going to be mad at him that this is happening? It's not his fault that they're like, we want to do a spin-off with you.
Yeah, because like he didn't seem to realize that like Fast and the Furious, even Tokyo Drift was a spin-off of the original.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like they've already
And
tried
the
that.
worst in the franchise.
Yeah, exactly. So they tried that. They're like, it's not working because that character came out of nowhere.
Best scene in that movie, Bow Wow getting beat up.
Oh, yo, Bow Wow.
all of
Oh,
Japan.
no.
We never heard of Bow Wow again, right? Or was he in one of the movies? Where was Bow Wow?
No, he was not. He was only
Oh,
one.
Yo, they even took my Asian boy. They got him out the film. Like, oh, yo, we need him.
The only,
Get
one
him
they,
out.
the only one they brought back was
The country boy,
yeah,
country
the country
grammar.
boy.
They brought
All of
him
Japan.
back.
No, but they
Actually,
also,
no, the Asian dude
they
was in
all
the-
the,
Yeah,
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 they
no,
kept
the other
Han.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
Han,
they
yeah.
told Bow Wow, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no,
It
they
was
need
the-
Han. They're like, Han.
It was the other one, the one who got like died in the car.
Yeah, we don't need him. We don't need him.
Oh my god.
He's gone. Yeah, but Han, you're like, yeah, you good. Let's put country grammar real
But
quick.
I mean, the Tokyo Drift is where Han actually died, right?
In
Yeah,
that movie,
yeah,
and
he
then
died.
They did the other ones as prequels.
Prequels, yeah.
exactly.
That Han died in that movie.
Because they knew they messed up. They're like, he's a good character.
Yeah, because everybody was like, first off,
Yeah.
you fucked up with this movie. Second off, you killed a good character.
Exactly. They're like, yo,
What
how do
are
we
you
fix
doing?
this?
But I mean, it did make
Like,
sense
what are
when
you
you
doing?
watch all of that build up, especially when like, even when they brought back the, what's her name?
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, Michelle Rodriguez character. They realized they fucked up in some major way, and it was like, but it was still good. It was entertaining to, because like I felt bad when Han died. I was like, wait, why didn't Bow Wow die? You know what I mean? Like
I
you
know,
should,
like-
you know what I mean? Like
could have put him in the street,
Street-
just walking and let him get
not
hit.
even like Han should have just creeped out, and you know, Bow Wow should have just stayed in there and burnt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I shouldn't say that.
I mean, when we say Bow Wow, we mean the character. We
The
don't mean
character,
actual
we
Bow
don't
Wow.
mean
like-
Yeah, we just don't
person.
remember
Yeah.
his name.
Yeah, exactly. We don't remember his name because that's how
Goes to
it's in the
show.
beginning. yeah, we don't know. We know Han. We don't know country grammar. We don't know Bow Wow. Who are you again? Even Vin Diesel had to make an appearance just to save grace. Like,
Oh my
Man,
god.
but I'll never forget
Han
the
was
first
my
time we saw that
friend.
movie, and
Vin
outside
Diesel,
the movie
I am
theater.
Groot.
Yo, you don't remember outside the movie theater, everyone was trying to like drift and all that with their big ass heavy cars, not realizing like there's a technique to it.
Yeah.
People were fucking up in the
Yo,
parking lot.
cars is tilted.
You see, that's what I miss from Fast and Furious. I like the
Yeah,
when
the
it first
car
came out
element.
and the whole racing, drag racing. That's what I
Yeah.
love. Now it's just jumping out of the Dubai Tower and shit. I'm like, what the fuck
It's
is
a
this?
$1 billion franchise now. Every movie makes
Hey,
$1 billion, so they're like, you
Look,
know,
when it comes to that series, I don't want reality. I don't want logic. I want fast cars. I want Michael Bay explosions, and I want half naked women.
yo, for like 5 seconds
That's
because they don't
all
show
I
them much
want.
anymore.
They
Because
don't
that's
show-
what it's about.
They don't even show that much cars anymore. or
Yeah,
anything like
and
that.
the women, it's like a quick little scene like they put
All
in
I
between,
need
and
is
that's it.
5 seconds throughout.
Yeah,
Wow.
And then blow things up, drive really fast. Someone bring a tank because you need a tank.
yeah, out of nowhere just because you know.
And drop the tank out of a plane because fuck reality and logic.
Yeah.
Just make that shit
No,
happen.
they started out with the wrecking ball. That's when you knew, like, wait a second, something's a little weird with this series.
Like,
but I like it.
will suspend every single ounce of reality
Yeah.
and logic for Fast and Furious.
No, it was the weird one was in Too Fast and Furious when he comes off the port and then literally drove his car into the yacht.
That's the weirdest thing to you.
That to me was like the
But you see?
stupidest thing.
But
Like,
That's the weirdest thing to you in
But
that
look,
movie.
John Singleton asked
But
that.
ask yourself, how fire was that?
Exactly, John Singleton, like, I could
Yo,
do anything.
how fire was that though?
bro, it was like so predictable.
But how fire was that though?
There you go.
That car shouldn't even have made it to the back of the boat.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Jason,
Well,
how fire was that though?
Fire.
I was like, yo, let's go.
You know?
The best thing about that was the ejector seat when they're like tossing people out the car
Yeah.
with the button and stuff like that. That was cool. But
Yo.
that car should never made it.
Nah, but-
Dude, suspend your reality for some entertainment. It's like Sharknado.
Oh, I love that.
Look, that movie
no, but I
makes
mean, a lot of
absolutely no sense. But how good is that movie?
But I mean, a lot of the other parts of the movie was dope. Like I like when they all went into the garage and then like 50 fucking cars just come out going all directions.
What we want, man.
And I could just remember that scene with Luda's. Well, that was Luda was hot too, right?
No, and then Luda had the afro, you know,
Afro.
too fast for y'all, man. You know what I mean? But I don't care.
The Burberry fucking
We know why we
Ram.
came here, okay?
I'm telling you now, I'm gonna take your best moment and I'm gonna raise you one. Best moment in the movie is when my boy Paul hit with that little flare. I got mine, cuz. Yo, man was like, yo, real LA. I'm like, yo, you got flavor? The only movie he had flavor. No other movie did he get that flavor back. I'm like, I need that. Man, hitting Tyrese with the cuz.
I mean, since we're here, which one is your favorite one?
Cuz.
Favorite movie? Which Fast and Furious is your favorite one?
The
Four or
first one.
five? Four or
Four.
five?
First
The
one.
first one.
Four. It's either 4 or 5 for me.
I
One
like
of
the
them.
first one. I think that had a lot of, like, I don't know. I think it was more. I think I enjoyed the first
You know why I
one
like the first one? Because that's when Need for Speed Underground came out.
Oh,
And that's was
one of the best racing
baddest
games.
shit game all time. Need for Speed 2 Underground?
Oh man,
Don't get me started on it.
Crazy.
Yo,
Played
that
it for
game-
hours.
We will be here for 3 hours.
Yo, because the first Underground was a great racing game, but the second one,
Yeah.
the open world,
Underground
I'm just
2.
driving. I'm
drag
not even
racing.
doing anything.
Just drag racing.
Yeah.
But
Like-
the one thing I didn't like about the first Underground, when you were driving, the car didn't really sway.
Yeah,
The car just kind of stayed in place,
Yeah,
and if
yeah.
you turned, it turned. But like in the second one, because they brought in the drifting and all that
yeah,
stuff.
man.
Ooh, man, that
Remember the one you have to keep drifting and
Yeah. So you have to get a certain amount
bonus?
of drift points in order
Yeah,
to like,
man.
to compete.
Yo, that game. Yo,
That's what
that
caused
and
a lot of-
Midnight
That's what
Club.
caused a lot of accidents.
Yeah.
It takes me back, bro.
Caused a
Midnight
lot of
Club
accidents.
1 and 2. Midnight Club 2, I should say. That was
Oh,
another
yeah.
one. So that's
not
that
bad.
era, like the PlayStation 2, that era.
That's what it was, and that's why I like the first one, because the first one was really about cars,
Yeah.
souped up cars, building your car, and
Yeah.
that's what I like. Then after it just started going way too crazy.
But I think
Yeah.
people just like forget what it was about. It was about racing. It was about testing the limits, and everybody was complaining about the storyline.
Yeah.
Like the storyline was just a bonus to like just
Yeah, just to
great
show the
driving
cars. Come on, the
scene.
first time he went under the car like
Yeah.
that, like, yo, that was crazy.
You know what I mean? Like I think it was dope. I just hate the fact that they kill characters on that, because like some of them were just like, no, not him,
Yeah.
or like. Han's girlfriend died in the
Oh,
7, right?
Yeah, yeah.
When
the
her
plane there.
plane, and it just like fuck.
She was a sweet.
Like we're just happy that Michelle Rodriguez came back,
yeah.
and then this one goes and like,
100.
nah.
I didn't know how much I needed her until she came back, and I was like, oh yeah.
And when she didn't have her memory.
Oh yeah, no. that
Fuck
was a
me
weird
up,
element.
man.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Fuck me up.
Is that the fourth or fifth one?
She don't know
That's the
who
fifth
you
one.
are.
That's what I mean. I like that one a lot, though. I don't know if it's the best, but that's my right now. That's what I can think of. I
That was
remember
the fifth
that.
one, right?
Yeah.
Well, they
Yeah,
had to because that was right after Tokyo Drift, right?
So good. No, Tokyo Drift was the third one.
That's the third one and fourth. So we have Fast Four,
The fourth one was
Fast Five, Fast Four, Fast and Furious 4.
what was the fourth one?
The one there where
Honestly, a lot of the
where
plots kind of mixed
Paul
together.
Walker was the police guy, and he was chasing the people and all the dumb shit.
It sounds like all of them.
Yeah, it really, like it really does sound
Doing
like
that in
all
Fast
of
and Furious, the first one.
Yeah, it's one of those, you know. It's
because
Fast and
after Too Fast Too Furious, he was still a law
Was
enforcement
four
officer.
the first time that English actor, what's his name?
Jason Bond or whatever. Jason
Statham. Was that the first time he showed up?
No,
that's not 5.
that's 5.
It was in 5? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember 4.
Because you remember, essentially, that's what I'm saying. It's so it's confusing because supposedly he was the one who hit Han's car at the intersection.
Yeah.
But I think that wasn't it. But we didn't see him in Tokyo Drift. We
No,
just
don't
saw
see-
the hit.
Exactly. I think it was
And
at the end of 4.
And in 4, they show
happened.
that.
Yeah.
They show that. But then they expanded on it in what was it? The one when they went to Brazil.
They went to Brazil and
That's not 5.
yeah, I'm quite sure 5 was the one they went to
Right.
Brazil.
And I think that's when they showed it at the end.
Okay, yeah.
They expanded when everybody kind of like.
God damn. I gotta start it from the beginning, man.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
even
really-
gonna bother. I'm not gonna bother.
What?
I can't deal with Fast and Furious.
I can.
This guy.
Suspend
Come on.
reality.
Oh, you know what? I used to like feel you after 3, but now I'm in it.
No,
Oh,
I-
give me Hobb and Shaw.
Now
Give me
you're
all of
ready.
that.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Tokyo Drift pissed me
Dude,
off.
Idris Elba's
But
gonna
I
be in
mean,
this new one too.
That's the reason why I want to watch it.
But I mean,
My boy, come on, Turn Up Charlie. I'm ready for Turn Up Charlie.
Let's go.
You know what I mean?
No, Tokyo Drift pissed me off because I was like,
no, it didn't. I
Look,
don't-
we all look.
You tell him no,
we
it
all know
it
Tokyo
didn't.
Drift can be skipped.
no, it pissed
It's
me
not
off.
about skipping. Like you guys, like you have to take the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just like how you guys take all those fucking whack Marvel
he's
movies
right, he's
together.
right, he's right.
Like it plays a part.
Look,
and I
why
think
you gotta say it's fucking whack? Just
And
because
the
you
way-
guys commented on some of these movies being whack, but then you guys talk
No,
about
I've
it.
said
You
just
fuckers
suspend
light up like a
reality.
Christmas
Yeah.
tree.
Hey, all I'm saying is a lot
phenomenal.
of Asian people are offended because they see a white dude coming beating people.
Oh, that
in
guy
drifting.
That guy coming up
He
in
just
here.
came out of nowhere and started drifting like crazy.
Why are they
Yeah,
mad
like-
though?
Huh?
Why are they
The
mad?
fuck? How could he?
Yeah, how could he? In what, 2 weeks?
He drives pickup trucks
Yeah.
and muscle cars.
Like really?
I mean, things are fucking possible.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not. It's not like.
Doctor Strange. Come on, he learned all of his powers in like 1 month. I mean,
And I mean,
gifted with his
like you do see progression.
you know.
You do see progression in him
Please.
trying, and
Please.
you know when he was on the wharf,
I
and they
played
were
enough.
like,
I played enough Initial D to know.
Look,
that you
it's like I
can't
said.
master drifting in 2 weeks.
but you can't master a lot of shit. But you guys watch it and enjoy it. I don't think Tokyo Drift
I
was
think
that bad of
they
a
We
didn't have
need to
story.
time.
acknowledge that he said from playing video games. That's how
Right.
he knows it's not easy to master.
Right.
Yeah, it's right because
Right.
you don't know the clicking. You don't understand.
Hey, I'm playing on real streets in Japan.
love,
Initial D.
I love
You know
his
what I'm talking about?
optimism of
I'm playing on
I've
real
done it enough in a
streets.
video game to let me know how it is in reality.
Yo,
Right.
I thought.
But with that,
I
suspend your
thought I knew how to
reality.
drive manual because of the damn video game. I thought, yeah, I did in Underground too. Manual is easy. Just
It ain't
click
shit.
it.
You got
Nope.
shit.
Like, wait, gears?
Yeah, gear
Clutch.
clutch. You got to synchronize the release
Yeah.
and
Not in the game.
pressure. You know what I mean? Like,
It's not the same.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yo, I'm like, yeah, manual's easy. Nope.
you're gonna learn quick.
Yeah,
when that
man.
car go.
Yo, yeah, trust me. You go to Amusement 2000. You put and it's automatic. You play manual. Just hit the knob. Ain't no clutch.
yeah.
Game is not realistic.
When you got to figure out if it's a high clutch or a low clutch,
See, I don't know. That's what people don't understand.
that just throw your head off.
No, but
It just throws
I
your
think
head
I
off,
don't think
man.
Tokyo Drift was that bad. I think it still had a dope
it
storyline.
was important.
And I think it would play a major role. Like I think it's just like any other story. It's gonna grow and it's gonna expand eventually. Maybe not for us, but for kids.
But that's what it did to the series. Because like there's a lot of, well, I'm gonna say a lot of important characters, but Han being the important character, the events what happened with Shaw,
Right.
it played its important part. You know what I mean? I like it. But
And I think the fact that if it was not intentional, the fact that they were able to come back and save the whole what do you call those? Well, the whole storyline
Yeah.
for them to come back and tie it in and make sense of it. It's kind of like, well, maybe later down the line, it's all gonna tie in, and you'd be like, yo, Tokyo Drift was actually a necessary one.
Yeah.
You never know. Like these guys are crazy writers, and crazier things have happened.
It is necessary because they had that damn song that did you know? They go, yo, in the club when I come on, I'm still bopping the same way, yo. It's got a bop to it, so.
But it's also too like Japan has a crazy car culture.
Being a dork, Jason.
You know what I mean? They have a crazy car culture, and I think that's what they wanted to showcase as well.
It's something, cause that's what I liked about Fast and Furious. Like when it first started,
Right.
Each movie had its place in the universe to do something different.
Right.
Now after 5,
Right.
they're stuck in the high fast action base,
Right.
and there's not enough room for them to play with. So
Right.
Hobbs Shaw is their way to try something else, but it's more action.
But I also think it's for them to kind of like
differentiate
get the
though.
whole shit out, and then next movie it's gonna go back to the
Cars.
essential.
Put some cars
keys.
out
Yeah.
there. Like, you know what I mean? The cars that you ain't never seen before. Like, you know what I mean?
I just want a bunch of Bugattis.
Just imagine.
Bugattis,
Okay,
Lamborghinis,
Ace,
You
Ferraris.
can't afford it. It'll cost too much money. If you crash one of those cars, your budget is.
Well,
You think they actually have real fucking Bugatti Ferraris
no.
on? Dude, it's the body kits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw the
You
body
take
on that
regular ass cars, put body kits on, you can have as many
They
of
had
them as
real
you want.
Lancers in the first one. Those were.
But a Lancer and a Bugatti, bro.
yeah,
We're
but
talking
back in the day-
budget.
back in
We're
the
talking
day, that
budget.
was
No, it
expensive.
doesn't matter how
Let's talk
back
budget.
you
It
go
was
in
an
the day. We're
evolution,
talking.
dog. You know how expensive those cars are?
You know how expensive is a Bugatti?
But this is what I'm saying.
I'm
Like
talking back in the
we're
day
talking
when-
But
budget.
if it wasn't
in a
a
movie where
$2 million car,
you're gonna have stunt drivers taking these cars, doing their stunts.
Yeah.
You think they get it on the first try?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, you know how many times they're crashing, going.
but a
in
lot
between
of it is
things? You use
CGI
body
as
kits.
well, right?
There's some CGI,
The
but when it
later
comes to the
ones
cars
are-
itself, it's
the
all
newer-
body kits. It's not the actual
newer
car.
ones are more CGI. The
Yeah,
early
body
But
kits
ones-
for the
no,
tank.
because I had
It's the best kept
Tank
secret
body
in
kit.
movies. It's like we didn't actually get this $1 million
the
car.
fourth one was filmed with green screen. Like I remember having the DVD, and there's a lot of behind the scene, and
there's
it's
a lot of
literally
green
them
screen.
being on like some kind of like apparatus, and they're just so-called shifting and doing shit. And they're moving the car
So I said the
robotically.
later ones, yeah, but not the earlier, like the first or second or third. No, those
So-
were like the cars itself.
And I don't think they're not stupid to go damage these fucking cars, bro. You crazy?
No one's
Like
allowed.
any scene that you see where the cars are actually on the road driving, even if it is the real car, it's never a scene where they're actually having to do stunts.
No.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're just driving
just
down
moving
the
it, yeah, you
avenue
mean?
because we could do that with this car. But once we got to start doing the stunts, doing things of that nature, it's not the actual car. It's all body kit
Oh,
cars.
for sure. And that's all done in a safe environment.
Yeah.
All right, so
We got to give Jay-Z his props. These guys wouldn't stop
Yeah.
talking about movies.
All right,
'cause-
yeah, let's
we
talk
give
about-
Jay his props,
Look,
but that's where it stopped.
We said we would geek out, and then you were.
well, I started that, and you brought up
all I have to say
Singleton.
is I'm happy Cameron forgave Jay-Z. Because
How about Cameron
Wait,
finally
wait,
show
hold
some motherfucking gratitude?
Say what? Wait, say that to
Well,
me.
okay, so Jay had his second
know where this is
concert
going.
at B-side.
I know. Where
So
this
this
going.
was if Webster Hall was the they just opened it back up
Yeah.
since the Troy Ave shooting and
Yeah.
then there was the Mano situation. So they opened it back up, and the right way to do it is to have B-side too, because Jay-Z first had a B-side there. So on this one, he brought out Nas, he brought
saw
out Cam, Jim Jones, literally a unification of what was Rockefeller. Because the first one, he also brought out Siegel, Beanie Siegel. He brought out State Prop. He brought out J Electronica. He brought out literally everybody. Up to this point, we're waiting for probably B-side 3 for Dame Dash to come back on stage. He's the only one out of the whole rock movement that hasn't made an appearance. So it was really, I really liked, from what I've seen, I think I have to get Tidal just to watch the whole thing.
Yeah. All right.
But I think I should get it because, like, shit, everybody else is
The
supporting
internet
everybody
will
else.
have it soon.
Huh? What?
I mean, the mic
Tidal?
picked it up.
Yeah, but
The
you
mic
you
picked it up.
support
You watch the
you
tape
support
Of course.
you support Spotify though, you know. But anyways, we're not
Because,
gonna get on that.
What's wrong with that?
The only one you hating on have the same
It's
color.
cheaper than Tidal.
It's cheaper and has more music?
It's
That
not
too.
about if you keep going down that line, we're never gonna support our own.
Look,
So cut it out.
I'm poor.
It's not about being poor, bro. Because you spend money on shit that you want, and we talk
Yeah.
about building our community and
And
building.
I want Spotify.
Right, I understand, but
So
sometimes
what's
you know
the
what?
issue?
You know the slaves wanted if the slaves wanted their life, we wouldn't be here because they wouldn't take the risk
I
that they
feel like
did.
you want me to fill $1 billion.
No, I don't want- But you are filling up billionaires' pockets.
Yeah.
Steve
Right,
Jobs
so what's the
rich.
problem?
No, I'm just saying, support your own too.
I am supporting my own whenever I play their music
He's not on
on
Spotify.
Spotify.
Jay's not on Spotify.
I already bought his music and it's on my iTunes.
Anyways, the whole point
So
is
technically, I have supported my own.
whatever. This is beyond the point.
I'm
But-
not sure what your argument is.
I'm not having this argument with you. It's a positive evening. I want to retain it
It's
as
amazing
such.
how quiet you get when you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. I am not wrong.
Oh
Because
my
if we
God.
want to talk about spending money, you spend money on a lot of shit to support other cultures, other people, except your own. That's all I'm saying.
Are
we
you
all
watching
do
my
it.
pockets?
No, I'm not watching your fucking pockets, bro. I just pointed out something. Which, anyways, I'm not going to this. Lord, give me strength. It's a Sabbath. I shouldn't even be here.
Yo, I shouldn't even be in this part of the conversation.
You know what I'm saying?
But,
I'm trying to live here in positivity land.
what I'm saying?
You bring me to the negative
He's,
niggas.
he's trying to pull me to the dark side. I'm not with it. I'm not going to be. No, not today.
See, this man's got a
I
stick, boy. He love
rebuke
poking you, boy.
I rebuke you in the name of the Lord.
I'm just asking questions.
Rebuke
That's
is
all.
the word of the day, boy.
Black
No.
Jesus, right?
Of course.
All right, cool.
Everything is black.
I mean, it's all fake anyways.
Well, I mean, it's up to you. You're starting like Jason. Jason calling what? Jason
Uh,
called Jesus.
that thing from Lord of the Rings. Did you see the
the
guy?
Sky Wizard.
This guy.
Guy was
Sky Wizard?
disrespectful.
Hey, you just
Anyways,
going off what you
but that's
read
not
in
the
book.
point. I just like the fact that Jay-Z's continuing his movement to unify artists, especially black artists, and to show that black people could work together for a common good and a common cause.
Yeah.
And I think that's dope. And I commend him because, as where he's at in his life, he doesn't necessarily have to reach back. And now, like, we see his lyrics are actually matching his actions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we need that, especially where, good people, either they die, they're overworked. John Singleton was only 51.
Yeah.
And for him to have a stroke at that age,
Yeah.
you could tell, like,
Dude,
It's-
the one
it's
thing about a
crazy.
stroke. It's just one of those things that you can be completely rested and
There's this
and
girl
have a stroke.
just
Like it's just one of those things,
There's
man.
this girl just this week. She's like 5 years old. She had a stroke. She died.
No, I understand.
It's literally one of those things
something
where
you'll never know.
yeah, if you're unhealthy, you're more prone to it, but
Right.
it's literally just it can just happen.
I know, but I'm just saying, I just like the fact that while he's here, he's doing his part. And I think, like, we waited till Nipsey passed to feel bad about it or to say our piece about it or to give them their props, as we would say. And I
the
think
flowers,
that's
yeah.
Huh?
So give them their flowers.
Yeah, I think it's good to, like, shout people out when they're doing the right thing.
Well, look, we shouted Jay-Z on here, and I feel like Jay-Z's fully aware of his impact on all of us, you know? So,
But not only that-
it's now I feel like what he's been doing is he's been a bit more public with the things.
Oh,
he's
for
been
sure.
doing, because for years, he's been like a silent person, just whether it's donating, rebuilding communities, things of that nature. Like he's done it very quietly.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing him put his name behind it a lot.
Well,
more.
because what he's doing right now needs to be seen, right? Unification of people, putting differences aside for the greater good of everybody, and not just them as artists, but for the community. Because as listeners of music, as the audience, we often, emulate what we hear, or it affects us in such a way that we feel like, like Biggie Tupac had this whole thing with the East Coast, West Coast. It influenced people so greatly that even if you didn't know somebody from the West Coast, you just wouldn't fucking with them.
But
'Cause-
remember
Yeah,
what I've been always telling you, that when you're doing something for the community, or when you're donating your time, donating your money, you need to put your face behind it.
Yes, it's important.
It's not always good to like do it silently, because it's like then people are gonna question you, like, oh, what have you been doing?
Right.
And you're gonna get criticism that either is not warranted or not needed.
Well-
That's why I always said, if you're doing something like that,
I'm iffy on that, because sometimes there are genuine people out there that do not want any credit. They
But
just
it's not
wanna-
about
Some of
credit.
the
Wait,
credit. Some of
Like
the
there's
credit, though.
people out there that want to do the work. They want to make sure that the work is going well. They want to see it flourish, and they don't want any attention. And I feel like if that's the type of person you are perfectly allowed to have that.
The it's not I won't say the danger, but the problem in doing so is that, let's say somebody else want to do the same but don't know where to start. If they see you do something, they could reach out to you for advice, or on the house. If you're just doing it in secret because you don't want to be seen, and somebody else is trying to figure it out, but you figured it out already, you're hindering the.
We can't demand everyone be a trailblazer.
it's not about demanding.
Well, no, but if you're saying somebody who's literally out there actively working, but they're just not putting their face or name behind it, but there are results being made because of their work, and you're saying because they're not showing their face, they're hindering other people from being able to do those things, we can't force that on them.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. Like, we had the whole Flint, Michigan water issue. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who wanted to have the initiative to help. They probably was looking at ways. And I think it's important that Jaden Smith could have done it and not even put his face to it.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, well, I don't know who to reach out to. But the mere fact that he put his face in front of it, anybody who wants to help at this point knows a point of contact. And I think that's what I'm talking
and
about.
I get that
and it's
too.
it's not about being a trailblazer. It's something we must do, because you know what? We put our face to a lot of shit that impact the community and the culture negatively because it draws attention. I think when you do something positively, you should also do it. And I think a lot of people don't put their face to it, not because they want to seem, keep a distance. They like to do it, and when it comes out, they feel like, oh yeah, I'm doing it. It's both ways gloatful.
Oh, well, we can look at it as both ways gloatful or both ways it's just them trying to help.
Right,
So,
but I'm just saying,
I think
think
it's more a matter of how you personally
it's a concept.
take it.
I just think it's necessary for not just leadership, but so that people could have something to reference to. In our community, I don't know about you, but for me, like, I look at it like we don't have a lot of people that we could reach out to. Like, a lot of communities strive because there's people, like, if I was Jewish, for example, and I was studying law, and I'm sure my pops knew one of his buddy who's a lawyer, and I could go and do something with him and learn, or an engineer, or whatever the case may be. We need to have people who are willing to show their faces so that we could too reach out and have some sort of influence and, something to touch. That's why Nip was so important. That's why his loss is, him dying is so impactful to not just his community, but the world. Because if you wanted to go and be like, you know what, I have a couple of thousand. How do I start a small STEM center? I probably could have reached out to him. Maybe I wouldn't speak to him directly, but I knew he started something and I could have done it.
There.
Had he done it in secrecy.
Go ahead.
If he had done it in secrecy, it would have been hard for us to even fathom the idea. And I think it's important for people to put their face to it, because a lot of people don't put their face to it, and people who don't do shit come out and take credit for it.
So that's the point I was going to get, because if you don't put your face to it, people say, oh, I did this part, and blah, blah, blah. And then people are going to keep questioning you, say, oh, what are you doing, or anything like that. So, Iman, this is a question for you. Let's say, for example, when you were starting your brand, what was the response when you were like trying to get help or trying to, kind of like start it up? And now that you've gotten your brand where it's picking up right now, business picking up. Yeah. What are those people who didn't want to help you or weren't around then? Did they just start popping up now all of a sudden?
I'm actually fortunate that I didn't have people who didn't support me and all of a sudden pop up and support me. Like, from the get-go, just the idea of creating a clothing brand after, the idea of it was a nightlife style brand with merch ideas, just the concept from that point to making it a clothing brand, I've always had support. I actually didn't think that it would make sense to make a clothing brand, but I had like my best friends, hit me up, Justin, and like Melissa at the time was telling me, yeah, you should do it. And to be honest, I'm telling people right here on the air, the initial investment came from both of them. I didn't have the money to make this stuff, but they believed in me so much that they fronted the money to get the 73 pieces, to get the business cards. Me going to Desta Black Youth Network was where I learned to really hone the skills to make it. From that point, me having my family and friends and like them still involved is the reason why I'm comfortable at this day and age to reach out and let's link up, let's do business. People who need help, reach me. If you need a link to make your own clothing, I have the information. I'm not going to tell you that what you're going to do is going to work like it did for me, because I'm resilient. I'm going to keep going. I'm not stopping. Yeah. But I'll at least give you the tools. And that's why I think that we should always do is, like, for example, we're talking about put your face out there. My face is there. Like, Pure Lux is a concept, but my face, I am the face of the brand. Like, people know me as Lux. Like, they know, like, oh, that's Lux or Lucky, whatever. So I'm putting myself out there. If you need help, hit me up. If you want information, hit me up, because we have to start sharing the knowledge that we get. And it's like, I'm not going to say, oh, well, like, an example, just going far left here. when I used to play Street Fighter with my brother. Oh, how'd you do that dragon punch? How'd you do that move? He would never tell me. I had to figure it out. But as soon as I figured it out, I told the whole street how to do it. So he'd hate that and get mad, like, yo, why are you telling everyone to move? Because I want to learn how to do something else. I don't want to be stuck on one move and no one can beat me. Now you use that move, get better than me, so I learn how to get better at the game. I want to get better at making this community better. I want to get better, but I can't do that if I hold on to that information and only for me, and I want to be the only one having it.
Right.
We don't build a community that way. Like, we have to understand, we got to share. We have to give back. Like, we got to support. So because I support that, you know what I mean?
No, not you. Sorry.
Yo, another intermission right there. Yo, but because I support people, and I support people from before I started a clothing brand, the same people supported me until this day. I'm getting new followers, new supporters, and I'm still looking to support others in other ways too. So it's not just about me; it's about everyone. Let's all work together.
Yeah, that's how I see things too. Like, yeah, me, I'm the type of person that I want everyone to succeed.
Yeah.
Like, including when it came to this podcast, I always said that, listen, if everyone has a possibility of making money in this, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for me personally because I'm going to be the same person if I'm rich or I'm poor. It's not going to change. I don't change.
I might disappear.
You might disappear?
Little snap.
I'm just
quick.
gonna let my mom and my family know where I'm at.
He's gonna snap. He's gonna snap
I'm
this
just
He's
Yeah.
the Bobby Brown of the group.
Oh no, the Bobby Brown.
You got me all the way fucked
Oh,
up. If I were rich, you would never see me.
I'll own the new edition name. I can't have that name. It will be Bobby Brown.
Like
and
I've told you
Double
before, I have my if I ever win the lottery plan.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's included. I'm included.
I just don't play
about
enough.
that. Yeah, but no, I mean, I played the lottery maybe 3 times, man, and every time was like that feeling that I'm like, I don't feel comfortable at this because if you give me this money, I'm gonna have to sit down for a little bit.
I
and
know
just
what I'm
like,
gonna do.
Nah, you know?
Like
I know too. Like,
I know for a fact what I'm gonna do,
Uh-uh.
and I'm perfectly content with it.
Yo, I'm happy.
Problem is, I
Happy to
can't
hear
remember
that.
the last time I bought a lottery ticket.
Yeah, trust me. Yo, that's a devil's tool. Whatever you want to call it.
I legit cannot remember the last time I bought a lottery ticket. But when anybody ever is like, "Oh, I'm gonna play," I'm like, "Yeah, you know, if I ever win, I know exactly what I'm
the
gonna
tax
do."
on the poor. That's what it is.
Huh?
It's a tax on the poor.
Yeah, it's
That's what
Yeah,
it
no,
is.
I can't
like,
do all
I
that.
just yeah. I would actually have to like play the lottery.
Yeah, no, I'm not a gambling man. I don't like that risk. Mm-mm.
No, I would never spend that money. There's people who go to the casino and like spend more out of their means.
Yeah.
It's like they're putting up their house, they're putting up cars, and I'm like,
Yeah, but I mean
whoa.
that's self-control too, right?
Yeah.
Because
There's a lot of people that can control themselves.
Oh,
Bro, there's a lot of
people
people-
who have gambling addiction.
people have addiction.
Then you have the
period.
people who are like professional gamblers.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
but
that's
they
who,
could
like do the tournaments.
because somebody
and things of
would
that nature. It's
somebody
different.
would not buy a game lottery ticket, but they'll take their rent money and go buy the latest Jordans. You know what I mean? That's a bigger fucking risk if you ask me.
But those
I
are
mean,
people. Those
I
are
hope
people.
you flip it.
No, but I'm just saying, regardless
Like,
of the
please.
fact, there's people who would do that. They
Yeah,
would
no, I
not.
know what you mean,
know what I
yeah.
mean? So, I personally, I buy tickets every now and then, more probably the frequent than all you guys. Just if you don't hear from me in a while,
Yo, they're
I
even
would
have to
understand,
see.
man.
You see,
You know?
you see, I wouldn't be like that though,
would
because if
understand.
I won the lotto, no one would know because I would just continue as my day as normal.
Nah, I
it's
couldn't.
impossible.
How is it impossible?
It is impossible because in Quebec they have to divulge your
Working
name.
40-hour plus.
They have to divulge my
A
name
week ain't
on my
worth it.
thing. I have 3 names on my card I could use, so they could use anyone they want. Who's gonna? Everyone knows
really
me by
wanna
one.
You
put
only
Well,
have
my
one
bad.
last name.
I know that's the 3 names.
How much
You might
last
want
names
to put
do
a
you have?
timestamp
You
there.
know what I mean?
How much last names do you
I
have?
have 1 last name, but
Thank
I have
you.
3 first names.
Okay, but I see lies. I'm gonna
ahead.
be like, yo, Jason, either him or his cousins or somebody don't win.
If y'all listening, I had no clue. I did not know
You
this.
know that? You have 3 first names?
If them peoples is listening,
Oh,
I didn't know
okay.
this. I have
Know
no
what?
connection to this whatsoever. I am my own entity. I have 1 social insurance number. That's it.
No, he's just saying he has 3 first names. That's all he's saying. He's not saying he has
he's
3
talking about
identities.
disappearing with 3 different names.
No, I didn't say
And that
anything
he's
like
gonna
that.
He
live
didn't
low.
say
That's
that.
I
born.
didn't say
Hey,
anything like that.
once you
God,
start
it's
saying you
Jason
got more
Bourne.
than 1 name, you put
But you have a second name. You're a Christian. I'm sure you have a
I have
second name.
1 name. It consists of 5 names, but it's all 1.
No, but it's Christian. Christian is the one who have names. Everybody else has titles. It's a different. Let me not get into that today. But yeah, we all, as Christians, basically, we all have names. Moors have titles.
Who has what?
Oh, we'll talk off here.
Okay, because you said title, and that's where I didn't understand. I thought you meant Jay-Z real quick.
No, no, a title, not title, a title.
Oh, title. Okay. Yo, I'm hearing the wrong thing.
Yeah, but
So
no,
you have a title?
no, I don't. My name's based on
No, I was
Christian
confused.
belief.
I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, your name is probably Matthew something Riviera.
And I like to say it's one.
Oh well, of course, I have like 2 other names that I never use, but I get what you mean.
Like middle names and
yeah,
everything.
I really don't use them.
But he's saying he has like 3 first names.
I do.
Three.
You have a first name
and 2 middle
and
names.
2 middle names.
And a
They're not
last
middle
name.
names. No, they're listed as first names in my birth certificate and on my
What's on your
passport.
driver's license?
The driver's license, you put any name you want. Anything,
Please, bro.
anything that you have on your social
Okay,
insurance
so
card.
what is the first name on your driver's license?
Jason.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Wait,
That's your first
hold
name.
on.
That's your first name.
But the driver's license, I could put the other 2 if I want.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, I
What's
can.
on your social insurance number card?
All 3 names. All 3 first names.
Yeah, they put the full name.
Name, yeah.
But what is the first name?
It's always Jason, right?
No, it's not the first one.
What's the first one?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Technically,
Jason isn't the first one.
technically, it's not even all that. It's whatever's on
Bro,
your
we're
birth
in
certificate.
class in high school? No, huh?
No,
Whatever
We
is
never had
your
a class
first
together.
name
I'm
on
gonna
your
go back and
birth
look in the
certificate,
yearbook. Fuck
that is
that.
your first name. Like, period. Like, that name on your birth certificate is who you are.
Well, Jason's not it. That I can tell you.
I'm going to just
Is
call you
it the one that
Pops.
starts with M?
Marlon?
I was going to put him on
be, there's
blast,
another
bro.
one.
I know.
I wasn't going to put him on blast.
I knew what it was. I'm just fucking with him.
There is another one. There is another one.
I know the other one. I'm just
Look.
fucking with you. I know your name, bro.
Well,
Trust me.
since Jamali's already said it, you've only ever referenced yourself as Jason or Marlon.
Not in
What,
first.
whichever one of those 2 is the first one on your birth certificate, that is your name.
There's another one though.
Yeah, whatever.
No, that's a middle name. It doesn't matter. Whatever is the very
It's not
first
classified
name
under
that
my-
shows up on your birth certificate, that is your
It's
first
not
name.
classified
Or
as
in
a
your
middle name
passport.
because my passport doesn't have it as a middle name. It has it as a first name. It explicitly says it as a first name, and there's
Do
a
you know what
section for a
birth
middle name.
certificate is?
Your passport's more official than your birth certificate.
Well, no,
No, it's not.
technically.
Yes,
no.
it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
I can
No,
guarantee you.
it's
100%.
literally
No, your birth
not.
papers, bro. That's what they use
Because
to trade your
on
value
my
on the stock
birth
exchange.
certificate, all my names are there. On my passport, it's just Matthew Herod Rivera.
because you put that on your passport.
Yeah, because that isn't more official than literally your birth certificate. When you were born, this is how they registered you to the government.
If you say so.
I mean, it's.
I
facts.
mean,
Not
I
really
do
facts.
say so because that is how it is. It's okay to be wrong.
How
There's
did we
nothing wrong
end
about
up on this shit?
I'm just telling you that they don't verify you by your birth
it. We were talking about the
certificate.
lottery.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I think you had something to say about Cameron a while ago.
Oh yeah, they said Cameron forgave Jay-Z for his
so confused.
for his nonsense. So I'm just happy that
What nonsense?
Yeah.
What nonsense? Could you expand?
trying to diss Dipset and Cameron when Cameron went back at him hard and talking with his open-toe sandals with jeans.
Oh, it's chocolatas with jeans. All the king in New York rocking chocolatas with jeans.
No one rocks that. So I'm happy Cameron
Yo,
came
that's a
out
wicked
and
look.
forgave
I
him.
don't know why we made it such a big deal.
I'm happy Cameron forgave him. And,
But I mean, like, to me, like, Cameron forgive Jay-Z. What Cameron should be thanking Jay-Z. The only time he ever went platinum was on The Rock.
when Jay-Z was out of the picture. Okay.
No, Jay-Z was never out. First of all, Jay-Z can never be out of the picture of The Rock.
Hold on, guys. Hold on a second. Are we really ready to have this conversation?
Yes, we
right
are.
now?
Yeah, because
Yeah. I don't want the audience to be misinformed in any way.
yeah,
All right, go into it.
because
Already.
because Cameron, Cameron wasn't gonna take over The Rock. Cameron was just gonna create a whole new version of The Rock. And
Yeah.
he had the capacity to do it.
I mean, any artist, Kanye could have done it.
Yeah,
Kanye-
yeah.
Kanye could have done it. Beanie Siegel could have done it.
Oh, he
Beanie
already
Siegel
did.
couldn't
State
do it.
Right,
property
State
was
property was there.
heavy. They were
Yeah,
heavy.
so Cameron didn't do nothing that wasn't done before. And in fact, Dipset was the last of those 3 people to be added.
And Dipset was the best.
No,
out of
before
the- out
Kanye.
of
They
them.
were before Kanye.
Whoa.
No. Kanye was
We're
before.
not
Kanye
gonna
was the
go out on a limb
producer.
and say they were the
Yeah.
best.
Kanye was
Kanye
producer,
producer, yeah.
Really?
Dipset was phenomenal.
Young Gunners are better than Dipset? Is that what you're
But
gonna say?
are you gonna say of everything that came out of The Rock, Dipset was the best?
You said group?
Dipset made a movement. Cameron made half the world wear pink. I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
No,
I'm not denying how good they were,
They were good,
but to say they were the best thing to come out of The Rock,
no, hell no. Yo,
I don't know.
State Property
State
had their own
Property,
clothing
yeah,
line.
clothing
They had
line.
people rocking.
I don't know.
The movie,
The-
State Property
the
movie.
movie-
The State
they-
Property movies are bullshit. I'm
Nah,
tired of
what are
people
you
referencing
talking
that
about?
shit.
The movie
State
was
Property was
fire.
shit.
do we want to have a
State Property 1 and
conversation
2?
about Killer Season?
Yeah, because when you spit in a young girl's face and
That
call
was the
her
most hilarious
bitch,
thing I
and
ever
you
seen.
think
Like,
that's
you really
funny.
want to talk
Yeah.
about bad movies?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was funny as hell, though. The guy shot the guy.
That was hilarious. That was
I still
hilarious.
don't
though.
understand why people laugh at
It's
that.
Yo,
horrible.
because Cameron's a
Killer
fool.
Season
Cameron's
is
disrespectful.
terrible. It is literally one of the worst things ever put into production.
Yo, remember
And
the guy was
Kanye literally made Dipset hot. I don't give a fuck what you said. Kanye, and Just Blaze.
And Just Blaze.
They were the
Mostly
only
Just Blaze.
Just Blaze. But I mean, Killer Cam, that's Kanye.
Yeah, but
Wait.
you could say that for Jay-Z too. He did his whole
Keep in
Blueprint.
mind, Jay-Z
No,
was a
no,
platinum
he did like
selling
5
artist.
songs.
He did
five
some
songs.
Blueprint.
Jay-Z was a platinum selling artist before he ever connected with Kanye West or Just Blaze.
And I mean, you still had to look at Timbo for Jay-Z's career.
Yeah.
Swiss Beats. You still had to look at fucking
Easy Mo B for sure.
Pharrell, Neptunes. You still have to look at Ninth Wonder.
One day we're gonna have a great conversation about the Neptunes.
Hip hop,
Yeah.
hip hop since '87.
We're
He
gonna do
was
a
pretty dope.
dedication.
Like Jay-Z. No one could make Jay-Z. Not even Dame Dash could make another Jay-Z.
yeah, he tried.
He tried.
He tried with Cameron.
Yeah,
He
and
was
it
trying
didn't
to
work.
fail.
You know
With
what I
your
mean?
boy.
But what I'm saying is, it's at this point. I mean, even Jim Jones said it. He was like, "Yo, Jay-Z has done so much for me for his career." Because what people don't realize, Jay-Z jumping on that Ballin' remix
Yeah.
made Jim Jones a fucking solidified rapper. Because
He wasn't at that point.
yeah,
Jay-Z
Jay-Z
at the point where
and Jay-Z never took time to address people who weren't on his level.
Yeah.
And he literally, if you watch the Funk Flex interview,
Yeah.
he talks about how impactful that moment was because he was like, yo, I could fucking say I got a J verse because I literally owned the right to that beat and he could have literally copied Jay-Z's verse into his records, which he done. And it was literally a remix, an official remix. Because Jay-Z couldn't sue him for it. So Jay-Z has done a lot more for Cameron, Dipset, Jewels. And I think it's good to see, like, as grown men, they're putting the differences aside. So all these people in the streets, they could be like, you know what? This shit happened in 92, but there's generations now that are being affected by it. Let's put an end to it.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's important. I think that's the bigger picture. It's not about who forgiving who. Because as you can see, you know, Jim Jones' career is going well since he's been to the Rock Nation.
Yeah.
And, you know, Cam probably don't want to miss another Rock Nation
Well, let's just
pre-Grammy
keep in
party.
mind, this is Jay-Z's show.
Yeah.
Nobody is showing up to Jay-Z's show unless he invites them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that he had them all in suits. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Come
They-
on, button up.
button
yeah.
up. Like, they were all well dressed. Cameron looked like he was drunk, but he was
You're
still
talking as
presentable.
if Cameron hasn't been wearing suits before Jay-Z. Jay-Z
No, that's
Jay-Z
not-
just
but-
started wearing.
He's
started-
talking about the
What?
aesthetic of the show.
I understand the
yeah.
extent of the show, but that's how they. Even the shows before that, when they had the Dipset reunion 2 years ago, they were wearing suits before all this stuff happened.
No, but you're missing the point.
I understand the
He's-
aesthetic
he's
of
missing
what you're
the
talking
You're
about.
missing the point. It's not about who, like, obviously Cameron in his life had worn a suit before. You know what I mean? Like, that's a fact. But I just think, like, it's essential because we see hip hop as such this like weird street, like ragamuffin type of attire. And here he is all in telesuits.
Yeah,
like,
but
they're gold. They're not overly fucked up.
Yo,
They're
but
just
let's be honest. We're not seeing Cameron in 2X clothing as we used to see him back in the 2000s.
No,
We
but
don't
I'm
see
just-
that
Let's be
Cameron
honest,
I'm
we're
just-
not really seeing Cameron that often.
Yeah, and I'm
Good
just
to see him out with Jay-Z.
And I'm just saying, like, for them to have, like, I don't know about you guys, but, like, when New York came out, that record,
Welcome to New York City. The one
Welcome to New York City,
Yeah.
like, that shit was, next to Brooklyn, that was, the best New York anthem.
Yeah, at that time, yeah.
Like, Brooklyn was, like, a borough anthem, then you had New York City, and you had like Jewels on the hook. Like, bro, he really did his shit, and I think it's dope to see them come
The
back
one
because
with Alicia Keys on?
no, that's Empire State of Mind.
Which one are you talking about?
Hello, Brooklyn.
No,
How you doing?
dude,
Come on,
no,
Lil Wayne
Brooklyn.
That's on,
no, there's a
is
Brooklyn.
it Come Home With Me?
No, it's on Jay-Z's album. It was
Not the little. I'm talking about Blueprint 3. That's the one with Lil Wayne.
no. There's no. That's no. I'm talking
The one
about
that goes,
there's
"Welcome to
Brooklyn.
New York
there's,
City.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on Come Home With Me, no?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I'm positive that's on Come Home With Me.
Yeah, Welcome to New York City's Come Home With Me. Cameron's
Oh
album.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
but
that's a
Jay-Z
Cam
really blew. That was a theme.
And
But the Brooklyn one is with Jay-Z, Fab, and Uncle Murder. That's what the Brooklyn Nets play.
oh, I forgot about that.
And that's the one when,
That's a good
when
track.
Uncle Murder said they can't say Jay never signed a Brooklyn nigga. Like, because people used to go at Jay-Z for that because everybody on the rock was never from Brooklyn except
Yeah.
for Memphis, Bleak. So I'm just saying, I just love the fact that these guys are all unifying. And I think that's super dope. It's super positive. I think we should take a page from that book. And whether we have differences, they maybe not as serious, but it shows that people grow. And that's what we need. The hip hop is a young sport. These guys are literally the oldest.
Yeah.
Like really in our
Still
time.
active too. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you know what I mean? For them to like be like, yo, fuck it. Like we were young, we were wild, we were rich, we were having
Plus,
fun.
it's good to see that in hip hop, we're seeing something that's been happening in rock and roll for a long time. where
Right.
Yeah.
You just have old acts who aren't putting out stuff anymore, but they're just doing tours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
go
want
out there, put on
I
a
just
show.
really want this to go into
Yeah.
like a
Do
rock.
your old material,
Yeah.
like put it out there. Like,
Yeah.
who gives a fuck, man? Like, if Nelly wants to just go on a fucking tour where he only does like his first 3 albums, boom,
Yeah.
fucking do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's gonna be
No,
Sell
but-
that shit.
I
Sell
want
that
to
shit, you know
I
what I'm
really
saying?
want
Like,
to see a
imagine
tour
if the
though.
Neptunes were just like, we're gonna go on tour and we're literally just going to play our music from the past 20 years.
Yo, the Neptunes, 10-year span. Yeah, 10-year where they
They
killed the game.
locked down, I believe it was 94.
Oh no, you gotta go higher than that.
Yeah.
You gotta go higher than that. Because like you're talking about
Whenever they
Noriega.
started with Nori,
Nori, that's
That was
96.
96.
Yeah.
96. Okay,
So-
so
96
96 to 06.
Yeah, and then
No, they still went
No,
after
when,
that.
when they
After-
when
but
they
there's
had
that-
it on lock,
yeah, it was
though.
locked. Like you
Like
couldn't not
when it
hear
was,
the
they
Neptunes.
literally changed the sound of hip hop.
96?
Whenever that first song,
That's
they
Bro,
too
you,
early.
you
That's
still
way
have to
too
go
early.
after the clips, bro.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like so, basically,
no,
we
I'm
should
talking
remember-
about their specific run when they changed the sound.
Yeah, because like you have Mace. You have Mace's track,
Right.
Looking at Me. So that's
Right.
94, 95.
Right.
You have
Yeah.
Noriega.
Right.
But then you have Jay-Z. That's volume 3.
Right.
Yeah,
It's the one, no, the Dynasty album is 98.
yeah,
Yeah.
But essentially, it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the Mace track,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is 94. Then you
Noriega.
have the song with Noriega. It's
CNN.
yeah, with them.
Yeah.
That is when that
Then
sound
you
really
really
like it was solidified.
Yeah, that weird.
And during that decade span, they were everything.
Yeah, you heard.
And
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I'm not negating the longevity. I'm talking about that span of where you literally heard Neptunes on everything, and it was
Gwen
not just
Stefani.
hip hop.
Remember, you have the Gwen Stefani, you have
Yeah.
Eve, you have
It
like,
was not just hip
Yeah,
hop.
and I'm just saying, like,
come
I
on,
think,
Britney Spears.
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm a Slave for You came out when?
2001.
It probably
came.
2001?
Yeah, it's that
2001.
decade span. Like it's freaking nuts.
But I still think it went beyond a decade.
No, it did. It did.
100%. It's just that
Because
I'm not
there-
saying it
because-
stopped at a decade.
'cause
What I'm
even-
saying is there
'cause
was a
Grindin'
decade span
came out
where they
when?
changed
that was
the
a high
sound
school
of
2000,
music.
2000.
2000, Grinding
Yeah.
came out. Yeah.
What I'm saying is
2001,
there was a
2002,
span
yeah.
of time where the way hip hop and R&B was sounding was whatever the Neptunes were doing, and it
Oh,
was
yeah.
during that decade span.
Yeah, so like, yeah.
They're still like doing their damn thing as far
yeah.
as beats are concerned.
a different sound.
Yeah, they
changed
haven't
it, though.
stopped, but that 10-year span, it was literally like
But that was the
whatever
that's
they're
10
doing
years
is
of
where
hip-hop.
the
Yeah,
music's
but
going.
See, that's what I have to remember is that you had the Neptunes, 90. Let's say 96. Call it 96 to 2006.
Right.
You had Swiss Beats from 1999 to 2009.
Yeah, and then you still had
Ooh.
Timbo.
Timbo was before
Before
that.
that,
and
yeah.
that's why I want to
Timbo
talk about
was
it.
heavy with the
Yo,
R&B.
Does Philly have the best producers ever?
Philly?
Is it Philly? Where are they from? Isn't it Philly they're from? Where are they from?
Timbo is from Virginia, no?
Virginia.
That's what I meant to say.
Virginia
Virginia,
has-
V.
Yeah.
Virginia. Do they have the best
Arguably,
producers?
yes.
Because they have Missy Elliott. Don't forget, she's a producer
Yeah.
too.
Right.
Yo,
Arguably,
But you had
them-
Magoo too, right? Magoo was a producer.
I don't know what. you
Not as heavy
I tried to
as
Wikipedia
them,
Magoo.
but-
I don't know what he does.
You can make an argument for Virginia. Like you can 100%.
We could just say
make
the
an
East
argument
Coast, bro.
For Virginia.
Yeah.
But specifically them because, like you said, you have Timbaland, you have the Neptunes, you have Missy Elliott, There are others, but they're like the three.
But then if
prominent
you're gonna
ones.
go back to New York, you have Swiss Beats, you have DJ Premier, you have all these old.
Oh, but that's what I'm saying. There's an argument to be made.
Yeah, like I think they're
And then if
obviously
you go
solid.
to the West Coast,
Well, we don't count the West.
no, I count the West Coast.
Yo,
I always count the
Because
West,
when
that's DJ
Dre
Quick.
came
Wait,
in
oh,
with
okay.
his
Dre,
drums,
yeah,
I don't count-
understand what Dr. Dre drums did to hip hop.
yeah,
I
the
can't
drums
put-
are.
I
We
can't
would have
put West
never made it
Coast-
to 808s if it weren't for Dr.
can't
Dre's
put
drums.
I'm not gonna
there.
lie though, because I really
You
like.
can't because you're a hater. We're
No,
not gonna
because
take
their
your
beat
opinion
all
on
sounded
this.
the same.
No,
it doesn't.
no,
None of their beats were the same.
G-Funk is a
Jason,
whole
please.
different.
Clean your
DJ
ears,
Quick,
bro.
Listen, when you have
E40 was he a producer?
Bay
E40?
Area,
But
South
who did the
Central.
Bay Area
Oh, come on,
producing?
man.
Yo, that's a
That's
I don't
a
even know.
whole-
Uncle Luke. Like, come on now, like.
I mean, you still have to go south, right? You still got
Yeah,
all them boys in
yeah.
the south from Texas all the way down to Florida.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a lot of
DJ
producers,
Screw.
but like the thing with the West though, even
Dude,
though
I
it's
love me some
G-Funk,
Chocolate Screwed,
they
bro.
really they had their own sound. Like that's one thing about the
Yeah.
West.
but even when you look at the documentary from Game, like that was a fucking
Yeah,
album.
that's a
Like
classic right
that
there.
wasn't even East Coast. That was like just a harmonious blend of great new beats.
Beautiful.
Like I still listen to the documentary
yeah,
to
yeah,
this
no,
day.
it's top.
That was that.
Doggy style.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I don't
saying,
really
yo.
fuck with Snoop like that though.
Doggy style production was just
Yeah, this Doggy Style is.
insane.
That's why I'm always on a toss up between which one I like better, the Chronic or Doggy Style.
G's and Hustlers. Just listen to that beat,
Yeah.
that piano riff.
No, I don't- I'm not saying it- I'm not saying- I'm not saying like his music is not good. I just never related to it.
Yo, so hard.
Yo, trust me.
No.
Yo.
It's so hard.
East Coast
bro.
would still be number one. Sorry.
It's
I
so
mean,
hard.
like I said, like at the end of the day, East is East,
Yeah.
but
Like, I mean, we still had like great music from the South. Like, we can't sleep on the South.
Manny
Yeah.
Fresh. You can't
Oh,
say
I'm
no
not.
Manny
Manny
Fresh.
I'm
Fresh.
not sleeping
There's
on
too
the South
many.
at all. Manny Fresh was.
And it's
Dude,
kind of so
come on.
funny because this goes back to the initial question when you talk about how you got your clothing line started. If we look at literally all the long-standing hip hop brands, you have Master P, straight out of the trunk. You had Cash Money, straight out of the trunk.
Ludacris was one.
Ludacris, straight out of the trunk. Jay-Z couldn't get a fucking deal for his life.
Yeah.
Bad Boy literally started because Puff had no other opportunities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one was fucking with Miami, so Slip and Slide. You know, Trick Daddy and all the rest of them down there, Uncle Luke. And
Got nasty with
you,
it. They're
you know
like,
what I
"Fuck
mean?
it."
It's like, it just seems like when you take it on your back, even like I'm sure Dr. Dre at some point, like you take it on your back and you take a responsibility, like, you know what, I'm gonna go out and get mine. I think it's the best way to go because no one could do shit to you after that.
Yeah, it's
Like,
yours.
you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing anybody could say. Like, as much as people want to say Birdman robbed people of millions of dollars, they wouldn't have millions if it wasn't for him. There'll be
wouldn't
nothing
have
to
the
rob.
option.
There'll be nothing to rob. Like, Lil Wayne would have been probably a brilliant person. 'Cause I think he is smart, but he wouldn't be Lil Wayne if it wasn't for Birdman. Obviously, business comes with ethics, and business is unethical. You know what I mean? There's a reason. Business is for profit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Like I
we
said,
don't
like-
do no volunteering
Like
over
I
here.
said, you could be the best burger maker in McDonald's, but you're still getting minimum wage.
Right. When you don't own shit,
Exactly.
you succumb to that.
Yeah.
And I mean, in certain things, I don't like to get into it because it's politics and I have different opinions. That's not the point. But I think when you go out and you start your own shit, I think I commend anybody who does it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Apparently, you're Iman.
Oh, yeah. Iman Bandit, you know?
No,
Quick
but
little
I
shout out
really
from a
think it's
listener.
dope.
What happened?
It's a quick little shout out from a listener.
Hey, there we go. Getting tuned in, bring it full
All right,
circle.
guys.
Yo, actually, I can't even get on
I mean,
the
I
live.
feel like we could keep rambling on and
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
but
you saw the
we
time, right?
We should wrap up.
No, I saw the time too. I was
Yeah,
like,
I
wait, hold
just
on.
noticed the time, so I think we should wrap up. So let's just end it with anything left that you want to say, like as
Yeah,
far
what
as
do you
like
wanna
how
plug,
can
man?
we reach you? How can the people reach you? The website, everything like that.
You can reach me, depends. If you want to reach me Facebook, you got Iman Brown. You got Pure Lux on Facebook, Instagram, Pure Lux, or there's Pure Lux _ Iman is the personal page. You have the website, purelux.com. I mean, if you know me and you know how to reach me, let's put it that way. And if you don't know me, the social media is there. I'm not hard to find. Just Google my name, Iman Brown. You're going to find information on how to reach me. Also, look out for that special Don't Be Mad discount code that's going to be given to you. I don't know if you want to add it in now, if you want to give it afterwards.
Well,
But
later.
yeah, I'm going to get y'all
later.
discount code, 21% off your entire order. Everyone who wants to use a discount, boom. And yeah, we're gonna keep it rocking, man. You're gonna see that new merch because that's where I'm gonna force y'all to put out some merch because you gotta have people supporting you. You gotta have them rocking your stuff.
Man.
You know what I mean? You got to. That's the only way.
Like I said, people, like, I know he's here, he's in front of me, but seriously, this is great. This is great quality, man.
I'm really proud about that one. That's
the color is what's really sending me right now.
If I showed you that's 2 years in the making, huh? That's a 2-year-old design.
Dope as shit, boy.
I had to go back in the catalog. I had to look and like, yo, I didn't do this one, I didn't do that. Yeah, man.
This is what's up,
Pretty
man.
dope.
Yeah.
I got the flies heading in Montreal right now. That's all people need to know. Y'all get it soon.
Trust me. Yeah. I mean, y'all can find the website, but if you want, to get a little cheaper,
I'm ahead of y'all. Catch up.
That discount code. Yeah, don't worry. Hit that. Don't be mad discount. It's gonna be Don't Be Mad 21.
Yeah,
I'm letting y'all know in 2 minutes it's available. Yeah.
All right, guys. So we don't need your final thoughts. Let's just close it out. Thank you all for listening.
The disrespect here.
You can reach us as always. Don't Be Mad Pod on both Instagram and Twitter. Don't Be Mad Podcast on Facebook. We're also on YouTube as well. Don't Be Mad Pod. Thank everybody that was on the live stream. If you're still here, if you popped in and out, we have been here for a minute. Thanks for kicking back and listening to us ramble about fun stuff that we love and drinking alongside of us. We will be back next week with another fresh episode and another guest. Yeah, that's right. I said it 2 weeks in a row with a guest. Imagine that.
There you go.
So thank you, guys. Tell your friends, tell your pets, tell your enemies. Listen to the Don't Be Mad podcast. Peace.
Take care, everyone.
Peace.
Yeah, man.